Hello and welcome to Party Select, where two dudes and a guy who's their friend talk about the best thing there is, video games. My name is Shay. I'm going to be your host for this very special episode. I'm joined as always by my brother Kyle. Hey Kyle, what's going on, man?
Hello. I'm terrific. We get to talk about good video games today.
Yeah.
We don't always do that.
You're terrific. Cody, how are you doing?
I'm great.
Yes.
That's all I got.
It's a very fun, very special episode. I think, Kyle, you're the one that brought this up. It's kind of been making the rounds on different outlets doing a retrospective on the top 25 games of the last 25 years. We're in 2025. And so why not? Why not look at the quarter century of video game releases? And that's what we're going to do. We each have a list of our top 25 games of the last 25 years. There's some crossover, a couple things that are on multiple lists, but each list is our own list. We're not going to try to rank them. We're not going to try to tier them. That's not the point of this. This is a celebration of the games that we love, that we would recommend to anyone and everyone that they should go and play. The way that this is going to work for audio listeners, if you want to head to the YouTube channel, there's a link in the description. We've got a spreadsheet pulled up where we're going to be revealing them as we go. But you can also just listen, and we'll obviously talk about them in that way too. But we'll sort of take turns talking about them. If there's a game that is on multiple lists, we'll wait until the highest ranked instance for us to talk about it. So if I've got a game, if I have a game at 25, Cody has it at 10, we'll wait until we get to number 10 to like dive deep and talk about the game just to keep things moving.
Yeah.
Anything else? Like, do we just want to go? We normally do like way more rambly intro shit, but
yeah,
let's just talk about video games.
This is a focused, hyper-specific. I will say, you said the last quarter century in video games. That feels bad. That feels kind of bad.
Yeah.
Really, also, that's like
years.
Around half of video games' existence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it was like early 70s, right? 1971 or something was first like PC.
We've come a long way.
Yeah.
Okay. And now
and some would say we've come a short way. Yeah.
we've definitely plateaued for sure.
Maybe even on the downward trend, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
One fun thing at the very end, this podcast is hosted by three people who love numbers and analytics in different types of ways. Cody did some analysis to understand sort of, I don't want to spoil it, but sort of like where things lie on representation across different years, across different lists, that sort of thing. So we'll chat about that just for fun at the end, just to see like what are our favorite years based upon these lists, things like that. So we'll dive into that at the end. But let's do it. Let's start at number 25. And we'll kind of walk through and each introduce our game.
All right.
What do we got?
And the 25th favorite game across the three of us are... Boom.
So at 25, I have Gone Home. This is a game I really struggled to narrow it down to 25. There were like 20 different iterations of the bottom three games on my list.
Yes.
And the way that I ended up settling it was... Gone Home gets this spot because it's a game that like means something to me.
Yeah.
There are other games that I considered that have more gameplay, have more story, have more graphics and more and more and more. But Gone Home, I mean, it's one of the first games I played through with my wife, one of the first games she ever actually played for herself, and really just a meaningful story to me and like has a special place in my heart. So I wanted to force it onto the list.
Yeah. Good reason. Honestly, I'm probably getting some recency bias here, though. I really struggled. I had about
what's the game?
Death Stranding 2. Is my number 25 game here. I haven't even beaten it yet, so again, there's some
sure
turmoil there. But I had about 36 games when I did my initial pass. But man, I just really have been enjoying playing this. And it's a really special game. And when I was looking at some of those other, like the other like 11 games that were just outside the 25, they didn't quite stack up. It's really good. But there are a few games where honestly if recency bias wasn't there, maybe would edge that out. But for right now, it's Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, I definitely thought about having Death Stranding 2 in my top 25. It would have been my 25 as well. But I ended up, like, I need more time to digest it and think about it. It's a little too recent for me. So I did leave it off, and my 25 is Freelancer, which, do either of you know what this video game is?
No, I looked it up specifically for that reason. Because I was like, a game that's in your top 25 of this, like, whatever, and I don't know what it is. That surprises me.
So it is a space flight sim, also like kind of a life sim a little bit, but it's more about the space flight. Came out in PC. It's sort of like single player EVE Online, but it's more of like a pulp sci-fi than like the really hard sci-fi that EVE goes for. But in terms of its systems and stuff, it plays a little bit more into that, where it's very much about, like, you have your character and you are kind of making decisions about who that character is, how they spend their time, what they like. Are they a merchant ship? Are they a mining vessel? Are they into combat? Like, there are a bunch of different routes that you can go through the game on. There is an overarching story that you're playing through, but it was the first game I'd ever played that it was like fully 3D, open space. It's like you could actually travel point to point. There are like hyperspace, like, equivalents and stuff like that, and ways to travel between systems and all that. But it's like a fully 3D world, galaxy, or it might be more than a galaxy, for you to explore. All of the planetary stuff is like menu based. So like that's where they kind of scrimped and saved a little bit. It really is about the moment to moment space flight stuff and the different activities that you can do. And it really, really opened my eyes in the same way that, like, your first Elder Scrolls opens your eyes to, like, what open worlds can be, like this possibility space. Even if the possibility space that the Elder Scrolls games, and to some degree Freelancer, are showing you are actually limited in a lot of ways, it has that sense of freedom and that sense of openness that really captured my imagination at the time. And it is a game that I've gone back to a couple times and played and still really, really love, and I think about it a lot. So I don't think that Freelancer is necessarily like a better game than a lot of other games, but it's one that I think about all the fucking time. And
nice,
very much me coded. I like stuff sometimes more when other people don't like it as much, just as like the natural contrarian. And nobody ever talks about Freelancer. And so it's like, fuck yeah, Freelancer, man. Like, let me read you into the gospel of Freelancer.
Nice.
And so it's a special one for me. So that's a cool one.
Nice.
Well, there you go. That's our number 25s. What do we got at number 24 across the board here? Mine is Marvel Spider-Man 2. I hemmed and hawed about this as well. It was like the Spider-Man games and the Jedi Star Wars Jedi games, so the Cal Kestis games, were like all 5 of those games are like right. I have a top 100 list, shayhitseverything.com to go check it out. But all 5 of those games are like right in this zone if I was to rank them, and I had to pick one. And to me, Marvel Spider-Man 2, like, I do think it's a better game than the first one. I think the first one, there are things about it that are better than the second one, but overall, I think the combat is way more varied, more options. Being able to play as both Peter and Miles is really awesome. I think the story is great. What they do with the character of Harry, I think, is really interesting. I just think it's like a classic open world game, and like the swinging and gliding, you just can't get any better than that. So this is my representative for all 3 Spider-Man games. All of them, I think, are amazing. No pun intended.
Nice. I do struggle. Like that first Spider-Man 2 on PS2.
Yes.
It's like, for me, it's like, I know it's like, if you were to go back and play that, way too dated, like feels old. All the open world stuff is very repeated and repetitious, and gets stale pretty quickly. But like,
you don't like chasing down balloons?
Right, exactly. I just feel like that was kind of the perfect one of those at that time, and I kind of like part of me that's like, I don't need another one. You know what I mean? But that is really reductive because all I know you don't know. But I also recognize that is really reductive because there's really great story direction and acting and writing going on in those as well. That like
and those
elevates it.
The games, they look unbelievable.
Yes. Also, yes.
And all the different costumes.
And a bunch of people like it, so it only makes sense that you wouldn't like it, right? I mean, based on the previous one.
I'm not going to say I don't like it. I have not sought that experience out because it's like, I feel satisfied with my original Spider-Man 2. But hey, maybe someday. This is on my maybe someday list.
Mm-hmm.
I have, for my number 24, I have Portal 2, but someone has that a little higher, so we will come back to that discussion.
And I had Half-Life 2 on my number 24 slot.
All twos.
Yeah, there are a lot
point.
of twos and sequels and stuff on here. Half-Life 2. What do you say about Half-Life 2 that hasn't already been said?
Right.
I played it in the Orange Box collection first on Xbox 360, or maybe it was a PS3 Orange Box. So I'm not going to say that it like felt really good as a video game because I don't think the console versions of Half-Life play all that well. They certainly not. Right. Yeah, they're definitely tuned for mouse and keyboard. I have since gone back and played Half-Life 2 on a computer, had a much superior experience. Just like the sense of movement and momentum, the speed at which the game runs, and also all the physics stuff happening, and like performs better on PC and stuff, obviously as well. That is just, it is an all-timer. Like the number of, I think of Half-Life 2 in the same way I think of the Metal Gear Solid games, where it's just like they are games that are so defined by their systems. And for Half-Life, it's physics system. And like to me, that's the thing. That's like the thing about it. I do like a lot of the parts of the world and the world building that they do. I think a lot of that's pretty clumsy in Half-Life 2. But what they do with it is interesting, especially in the episodes that they released later. They got much better about that stuff. But for me, it really is about it feeling like a playground, in a way that a lot of like the Metal Gear games feel like that to me. So yeah, I like Half-Life 2 quite a bit.
Yeah.
It was on my short list.
Yeah.
But it was more like, I love that game, but it was also a importance game,
yes,
like an influential game for the industry, rather than it being like a personal love for it.
Sure.
But yeah, its influences like cannot be overstated.
For sure.
All right, 23.
Yeah, 23. Let's see here.
I have Borderlands 2. I think a lot of the humor in that game hasn't aged particularly well, much better than like Borderlands 3.
It has aged better than Borderlands 3, which is
newer game.
the highest bar you could imagine.
Yes, but it's still the same series. I do think there's a lot of funny shit in Borderlands 2. It's not all like cringe. I think there's a lot of fun humor in it, but the customization and the different guns, like it really made good on the promise of billions and billions of guns. And super fun playing co-op. Like all three of us played co-op for a while.
That's right.
I know, Kyle, you and I played co-op a couple of different times.
The Wub Wub Diaries.
Oh yeah, Wub Wub Diaries. I've played that game through solo 2 or 3 different times, just different characters on different consoles. And it's just like a dumb, fun shooter that you can spend hundreds of hours in it if you want. And I tend to like those types of games. So that combined with a cool visual style and fun humor, it hit pretty hard for me when that came out.
Nice. For 23, I had Halo 3. Now, really, this could have probably been any Halo game up until like 4. But like nothing beat the LAN parties. Like Halo 3, Capture the Flag, a bunch of CRTs and 360s in a basement, staying up all night playing CTF. Great experience. And for that alone, again, every campaign up until about 4 is like, I honestly could be on this list. But for those memories playing Halo 3 multiplayer, that is something I'll never forget and is very important to me, and therefore I felt like that was the one that had to be on the list.
Man, you talking about that. Perhaps there's another Halo game on this list. Perhaps that game should also be Halo 3. Now that you've talked about it, but we'll stick to our guns. My number 23 is okay. So Halo 3 real quick. Forge, Cody, you and I sitting like listening to Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger for like 8 hours on repeat, making a Forge map.
Yeah,
in
man.
3, playing through like the 360's like iPod feature or whatever it had to hook it up. Oh fuck, man, Halo 3's good. All right, my number 23 is Resident Evil 5. This is my favorite co-op game of all time. I do still enjoy playing it single player. Resident Evil 5, apart from 4, is probably the one that I have beat the most. It is, yeah, almost certainly the one that I have beat the most. It ticks a lot of my boxes, because not only does it feels a little better than 4 because you can still like move a little bit while you're aiming and stuff. It's a little bit more kinetic, a little bit more faster paced, more action oriented, a lot more bombastic, certainly more ridiculous, not always to its benefit. Also problematic, which is unfortunate. But a lot of the systems in it, like the collecting of the gems and the upgrading of your guns and all that stuff, like really came together to make it eminently replayable. And I definitely replayed the shit out of Ferrari 5. So that one's definitely on my list.
All right, moving on to number 22. What do we got? I have Fallout 4 at number 22. This game has a lot of haters.
Yeah.
And that's part of why I wanted it on the list. Again, like the bottom chunk of my list is a lot of like representatives of series. Yeah. And if I was making a top 50, Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4 would all be in my top 50. 100%.
I agree.
And so like if I was going to pick one, I had Fallout 3 in here for a while because it was my first Fallout game and I have a lot of nostalgia for it. Having just replayed Fallout 3 and also replaying New Vegas, they just haven't aged as well. And like the mod stuff is still amazing in those games, but to me, Fallout 4, despite it not having like the best side stories compared to some other of the earlier games, it felt like the full realization of the potential of a Fallout game, with the scale and scope of the world and the options, and the gunplay actually was good in that game, which it was not in any of the previous games. There's a lot of misses, right? Like the settlement building was not what it should have been when it launched. But yeah, I sunk hundreds of hours into that game, and it felt like the right. If I'm gonna pick one of those three, Fallout 4 felt like the right one.
I think that makes a lot of sense for sure. 3 and New Vegas need the Oblivion remastered treatment. Those,
yes,
I would sink another couple hundred hours into each of those if
they did for Fallout 3 what they did for Oblivion, you can put Fallout 3 in this spot. Like if they modernized the gameplay, it would absolutely be above Fallout 4 because the story is better, just the world and the side quests are better.
Right.
But yeah, that game's not super fun to play.
No, unfortunately. I had Breath of the Wild as my 22. I know y'all aren't super hot on it, but man, booting up my Switch, that was one of like the first Switch games I got, if not the first Switch game I got. So that also factored into it of like I'm playing the new Zelda on the the brand new Nintendo system, which was a cool experience. But just taking that series that was so predominantly pretty linear, all things considered. I mean, there were some open zones and whatnot, and really opening it up. And the discoverability in that game, the side quests. It really did something. And I like it a lot. I think I like it a little bit more than the follow-up Tears of the Kingdom, but yeah, that's my 22.
I think a lot of people would agree with that.
I think is the game I want to like more than any other game I've ever played. I respect the hell out of that game and appreciate so much of what it does. I just didn't have fun with the moment-to-moment stuff. I didn't like the combat. I didn't like the UI. I didn't like the UX. a lot of it, the tedium, it didn't click for me. And I was so desperate for it to. But I super appreciate what it does. And I love it for that, in that sense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I am sad now because it feels like they'll never go back to making a Zelda like Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. You know,
I don't know, man.
It feels like they won't ever go back there.
I mean, we got the Link's Awakening remake. We got Echoes of Wisdom, which was a weird side game. Like, I think there's a lot that they can do with Zelda that isn't a big open world game.
That's fair. Yeah, I guess I would take like a shorter scoped in, Nintendo B tier, which is, much
Still
better than
fucking good.
For what it's worth, I heard
much better than a lot of other games.
Link's Awakening actually runs pretty decently now on the Switch too. So
on the Switch too, yeah,
that's there.
A lot of all that frame rate stuff got cleared up. But yeah, I think I'm with you, Shay. I've certainly spent more time listening to people talk about how much they love Breath of the Wild than I did playing it, and I played probably 30 hours of it.
Yeah.
So like obviously it's an incredible video game. My number 22 is another incredible video game. That's Katamari Damacy. Every single one of those songs lives rent free in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I just like, man, it felt like when I played Katamari Damacy for the first time, I felt like I realized that what I had categorized as video games was so much narrower than the scope of possibilities of what games could be and like what imagination looks like in the game space. It like opened a panel in my head that I didn't know was there and let a whole flood of new ideas come in. And it was just such an absolute feast for the eyes and the ears and the thumbs, rolling that ball around. There is not a Katamari game that I think is bad. I think they're all phenomenal video games. But that first one, I think, is the most special to me.
Nice. All right, number 22 or 21 now. Where are we at? All right, mine is Star Wars Battlefront. This is the OG PS2 game, not the recent. Well, I guess it's not even that recent. It was like a decade ago, the EA game. I am a huge Star Wars nerd, and playing as like a grunt soldier on these like huge, at the time, huge maps with so many, AI NPC enemies that you're fighting in the Galactic Conquest mode where you're like doing missions on a planet to take it over. I love the second game also, but the hero characters kind of like ruined the vibe to me of the simplicity of like being, a clone trooper or being, a droid in the droid army. Yeah. So the original one is a very, very special game to me.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, I think a lot of the space level stuff in 2 is really cool. Like the first
being able to fly directly into a ship and then fight in the ship
and land and then like blow up other shield ship systems and stuff from inside. Super cool. If that stuff was in 1, it would be a perfect video game. For sure. Because a lot of the vehicle stuff in 1 just isn't as good. I think just the vehicle stuff in 2 in general is way, way better. Like they all control better and the maps are more made to accommodate them. But yeah, I totally agree with you about the hero characters in 2.
Yeah.
My 21 is Dark Souls, but believe it or not, there is someone with this a little bit higher. And I'll give you a hint, it's not Shay. So
known FromSoft hater, baby. That's my calling card.
My number 21 is Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced. It is holy shit. How many hundreds of hours have I played that on my Game Boy Advance SP? It was the cartridge that was in my SP, like outside of like the 2 months after Pokemon games would release, it would go from that Pokemon cartridge back to Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced, and that thing would come with me every day to school, and I'd play it during lunch or like free period or recess or whatever, on school trips. It was just I was glued to this video game when I was out and about, when I wasn't
How many
at home.
times have you seen that beginning cutscene with the rock
The
and
snowball fight?
Yeah.
Oh man. It still hits right in the feels, bro.
Good stuff.
That is it was my first one of those kinds of games, and I have played so many tile-based strategy games since then, and it's really because of Tactics Advance.
Sure. All right, let's hit our top 20. What do we got across the board at number 20? For me, it's Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. This is actually not the only Uncharted game on my list. I hemmed and hawed about that for a while and was like, do I want to just... Because a lot of these, Fallout 4 I picked to represent Fallout. Spider-Man 2 I picked to represent Spider-Man. But this game and the other Uncharted game that I chose, they're both so fucking incredible. I had to include both. This Uncharted 4 as a culmination of Nathan Drake's story and the resolution, like openly weeping during the epilogue. No shame about it. I think that Neil Druckmann taking the reins on the story away from Amy Hennig, I think wasn't my favorite thing because the game was a lot more self-serious. It was a lot longer. There was a lot more downtime because that's kind of how he likes to make his games, which is why it's not the highest Uncharted on my list. But I think overall, like, an absolutely insane ride, and so much of the character stuff and the story is amazing. So yeah, I thought they were going to end after Uncharted 3, which was a great ending, but I'm really glad that they made a fourth one.
Yep. Yeah, and like those couple of like open zone areas where you could kind of drive around. It was like a nice way to break up the pace.
It was very cool. I wish there was more to do. Right, like they learned a little bit in the Lost Legacy, which I also love. Which that game would be in my top 50. Also, they learned and they added a little more side quests and stuff in that one. But as a first try at making open stuff, you can see how that informed The Last of Us Part 2 also, which I think is a really clear, smart, building on what they did before.
Right,
absolutely,
for sure.
For what it's worth, if I didn't have the recency bias of Death Stranding 2, that probably would be my 25th game, is Uncharted 4.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
My 20 is World of Warcraft. And this is sort of inclusive of all the expansions and everything since. I have the softest spot in my heart for WoW. It's just a matter of getting people to play with me is really the hurdle.
We're playing right now, buddy.
We're in the midst of some characters. It is
on Pandaria Classic.
It is the reason why it's like, there is a reason why it is like the most, if not maybe Final Fantasy's taken it over by now, I don't know, but one of the most played MMOs of all time. It's just got that very simple art, but very endearing art. And man, it's just a good time. I love playing WoW. I really do. Up to a certain point, I always get to like max level, and then when you got to like interact with other people and raid and stuff, that's when I usually trickle out. But like the grind is very good.
Yes, the WoW grind is very good.
And I just love me some WoW. So that's my number 20.
Halo is definitely up there, but WoW is my biggest I missed the boat game. Like, I wasn't a PC gamer person, but that is 100% my shit, and I just never made it, Yeah. And Halo was more, my little brother loved Halo, and so I was a PlayStation kid, and my little brother loved Halo, so Halo can get fucked. I don't care. But coming downstairs and seeing you guys doing your LAN party shit, I was very jealous. So WoW and Halo, it's fun hearing you guys talk about those, but it also makes me like sad that I missed those games at the time.
Right. Yeah, because like I also feel like we got a little bit of RuneScape in, but I also feel like, Cody, you and I kind of missed the RuneScape boat a little bit just because like lack of access to it at home. But I also have a soft spot for RuneScape as well.
You got that MacBook G4 Mini or whatever it was,
and
I remember you playing
G4.
I remember you playing WoW on that thing
with a trackpad, no less. Laying on my stomach on the carpet in the basement, playing on an iBook G4 with a trackpad.
Yep,
amazing. A lot of hours spent there. All right, my number 20 is Dark Souls. So, Cody, you and I, we were almost in lockstep on this one.
Yes.
First Dark Souls. I mean,
So
holy
good.
shit. Map design. It is definitely, clearly it's this is the only FromSoft game on my list. Spoilers. It's the one that I love the most. For me, it comes down to the deliberate pacing of the combat that has always spoken to me much better than subsequent entries in the franchise that tend to be a little more fast paced and like, you know, get up in that ass. Hectic feeling. And I liked the ability to have a little bit more having a little bit more of a measured approach to combat. And that first game is so fucking good at it. And I do think it's my favorite Souls map. Yep. Just the way it weaves back into itself. And also, like, I mean, you talk about, obviously Demon Souls was first. And that had a lot of that as well. But I think Dark Souls was a significant evolution on their ability to create interesting and convoluted maps that you come to make sense of over time. So yeah, that's my number 20.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I agree.
Nice. 19. I feel like we're getting into territory where we've got a lot of repeats in this range. My number 19 is 2018's God of War. I do love the original series, but the new Sony Santa Monica shit is the shit. This is actually not my highest ranked God of War game, but someone else does have this game ranked higher, so we will talk more about God of War later.
My number 19 is Guitar Hero 2. Someone does have this one ranked higher, so we will talk about that later.
My number 19 is Metro 2033. It's just a sucker for first-person shooter campaigns, and then Metro also had that like survival horror twist on it, where, you know, like ammo scarcity, that like so many things about the universe, and it helps that it's based off of a novel, right? So like a lot of the stuff has already been explored and stuff throughout the novel. But it feeling like a well thought out take on what a post-apocalyptic, like, Eastern European, hellscape, I guess, for lack of a better word, would look like.
Hellscape.
Like the bullets as ammo, like the politics in between the different stations and communities, how like they're still forced, like despite their differences, they're still forced to work together because that's just what it takes to get by. There's a lot of themes that I felt resonated with me playing it, and then also obviously like a lot of gameplay systems that I value highly. And the Metro franchise is absolutely one of my favorite franchises, but that first one, especially for me, it's one of those games that I'll be playing for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I had not really heard of it, and then you put me onto it, and I'm super glad because it was an excellent game, and I've liked both of the sequels too, so
yeah,
very good series. All right, number 18. What do we got? I have Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, and I would say throw Heart Gold and Soul Silver in there. Yeah. It's all essentially the same game. We could cheat a little bit, but I don't have this the highest. So we'll have to wait and talk about that in a little bit.
My number 18 is Minecraft, which is, looking at this, that is sort of crazy considering the number of hours I have in this, but we will talk more on it later.
My number 18 is Fallout New Vegas. I just like Shay, I have a lot of affinity for Fallout 4. I think it plays the best. I do think New Vegas is like somewhere in the middle of 3 and 4 in terms of how it plays. New Vegas, more so than 3 or 4, definitely has the best writing, has the best quests, companion characters. I also think the DLC in New Vegas is the best of the 3. There's a lot of great stuff in all of them, obviously, but New Vegas is definitely the one for me. It has the most systems that it's playing around with, like your reputation system and the different faction system stuff going on. It's the most broken of those 3 for sure. It has the most problems technically. But hey, you can just fan patch and mod the shit out of it and make it still not make it work in some ways, but make it work a lot better. But yeah, New Vegas is the one for me. I also just like, I love that old school, spaghetti Western cowboy shit. That's so much fun. Like such a fun vibe to then have that married with the post-apocalypse. I think New Vegas is a very special video game. And Obsidian should make another one. I agree think they're gonna, but they should.
I don't think they're gonna, but I agree they should. All right, number 17 on our lists. This is where I have Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. This is my favorite Uncharted game. But we can't talk about it yet because someone else also likes this game. Someone who has good taste.
We have, for me, I have Mass Effect 2 at 17. But again, someone also likes this game. So we will talk about it
Only
later.
Kyle is allowed to talk about his game.
Yes, apparently.
Because the last three, Cody and I,
This is the Kyle block. Coming in at number 17, I have Halo 2. This should be Halo 3. I can't make any changes.
You committed.
Now. So the reason I picked 2 is because a lot of hours spent playing co-op with Cody, like just trying to break the shit out of that game, trying to like take vehicles where you're not supposed to take them, and like trying to get out of the map and stuff, like New Mombasa especially, hopping around on the tops of those buildings, like bypassing Sniper Alley and all that other shit, like just having so much fun trying to like test the boundaries of it. I also think from a story standpoint, it's the first one it's more coherent than the first one. I think there's more going on. I loved being able to play as the Arbiter. I thought that was the coolest shit. Being able to dual wield weapons, SMG pistol combo. It has more vehicles in the first one, and they all kind of it just plays slightly better in some really subtle ways. The first one is obviously a landmark video game. The second one to me is really, really special. But yeah, when you think about a whole package, this should be Halo 3. Oops.
Can't go back.
Nope.
Let's move on to number 16, where Cody and I actually get to talk about some video games. At number 16, I have Ratchet and Clank: A Crack in Time. This is my favorite Ratchet and Clank game, one of my favorite series of all time. Would definitely have multiple entries in the top 50. This game, I think, like the biggest reason, one, it stood out to me because it was one of my first platinum trophies on PS3. But secondarily, it has like a surprisingly emotional story. It starts with like Ratchet trying to get Clank back and get his buddy and rescue him from like the Zoni who he's helping out. But then really the ending where Ratchet finally meets another Lombax who ends up becoming the bad guy, not because he's evil, but because he's trying to restore, their species. And it just like, it hits in a very deep, weird way that you don't expect because the series is so goofy.
Right.
And, I loved exploring the worlds in that game and the little side content that you do, tons of variety, and just a really fun platinum trophy, which I have platinumed every Ratchet and Clank game that I have been like, that I've tried to platinum. But yeah, that was the first one. So special place in my heart.
Was it Future Tools of Destruction that was the first one that had like the New Game Plus? Because
that was a launch
PS3.
era PS3 game, but that did not have trophies.
Oh, right. Well, I'm just thinking like New Game
which
Plus,
I still am mad
about. Where you get to start over, but you have all your weapon stuff and things are scaled up a little bit. I can't remember if
and you can like
Tools of
level
Destruction
up
had that, or if that started in Crack in Time.
Tools of Destruction does have that.
Okay. Crack in Time had a lot of really fun minigame stuff too, like all the Clank stuff. The time
I know
that
I like
Clank
Ratchet. I know that I like Ratchet and Clank. I couldn't tell you a single specific thing about a specific game because I've not been able to fucking play them because they've not relaunched them in any way.
Yeah,
I have replayed them on the PlayStation Plus streaming
terrible
service.
Awful,
horrible. They are unplayable, which is extremely depressing.
That's so unfortunate.
It's unacceptable.
Like, give me an $80 Ratchet and Clank collection that just has all of them on it on PS5.
Hell, just do a Ratchet and Clank Future collection with Tools of Destruction, Quest for Booty, Crack in Time. What was the Nether or something? Was the epilogue one?
Into the Nexus or something
Into
like
the
that?
Nexus.
Into the Nexus. Yep. Good pull.
Just put that collection. Sell it for $60. Add trophies.
Add trophies.
I'd be in heaven.
Yeah, for sure.
We can talk about Pokemon now.
Yes.
Man, that Gen 2 is best gen. Best gen.
The original, it doesn't qualify because it came out before 2000, but the original games are my favorite, mostly because of the nostalgia factor, but as a representation of Pokemon, like Gold, Silver, and Crystal still is definitely worthy for me in the top 25.
2 zones.
Because you get to still do the Kanto stuff, which is super cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the decks. That's probably my favorite Pokédex.
Yeah.
I think Heart Gold is my favorite Pokemon game of all time specifically. But yeah, man, Gen 2 is great.
I wish
Gold
they did
is definitely
more.
The choice. Ho-Oh is better than Lugia. Lugia is kind of lame.
Yeah.
I loved the legendary dogs were sick.
Yes,
also
and having to track them down.
Oh yeah,
man, that was so exciting when you'd come across
one. And
right.
terrifying.
Yes,
you have to be saving like every 5 minutes because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yep.
I wish they had done more with the unknown Pokemon.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like. To me, that feels like Crystal, and maybe it does, and I just don't know. But like the Crystal version should have some special unknown side story thing or whatever. Like that's the kind of thing that it just feels like they didn't really capitalize on that whole thing.
Cool idea, but it doesn't. Right.
But yeah. Mine was Bioshock at number 16, but someone else has it higher on their list, so we'll wait.
That's right. You don't get to talk about a game. All right, top 15. Where are we at? For me, it is Super Smash Bros. Melee. It's my favorite Smash game by significant order of magnitude. This is like my group of high school friends' favorite game. Every Friday night, we were all in the band, so we would play at the football games. We would go to Taco Bell, sit in the Walmart parking lot until 2 a.m., and then go to someone's house, anyone's house, and play Melee all night long. And it was like some of the most fun I had in that period of my life, even though I constantly got my ass kicked by my friend Josh, who won every single time. And he just trolled everyone because he was better than us. So he would just play DK and just throw you off the stage over and over again. And he would play Jigglypuff and just roll and put you to sleep over and over again because he was an asshole.
You've not been thinking about this for the last 15 years.
I've not been thinking about this, yes, my entire life. Yeah, in the single player subspace, emissary mode, the way that you're unlocked characters by like doing really obfuscated hidden things, and you have to fight the character to get them, and you have to beat Master Hand at the end. It's good shit. Super fun.
Sort of in the same vein, kind of, I guess, because Mario and Nintendo. My number 15 is Super Mario Odyssey. I think I really like Mario 64, but I really do think Odyssey is the best 3D Mario game. It controls fabulously. I think the sense of wonder and exploration in that game as well. I got every moon in this game. I fully 100% that game. Really like it. I am looking forward to DK Bonanza, but I kind of wish we had gotten a sequel. But I'm sure Bonanza will be great. Yeah, Mario Odyssey is a great game, and I think deservedly at the 15th spot.
Odyssey was in my short list for top 25. It was very close. I didn't pick it because there is another Mario game, the actual best 3D Mario game, that you will all hear about a little bit later.
I think I know what it is. My number 15 is Mass Effect 3, the third. Probably not everyone else's first Mass Effect pick. I think that co-op mode in 3 does a lot of work here in getting it to this list. It does a lot of work. Also, Sorry,
I don't want to interrupt you. I was just going to say, like, Horde mode in Mass Effect 3, I loved so much that when I started a YouTube channel and got an HD PVR to get gameplay on my PS3, this was the PS4 wasn't out yet, but it came out and I still kept playing it. I was uploading Mass Effect 3 Horde mode YouTube videos like 3 years after the game came out because I just wanted an excuse to keep playing it.
God,
love that shit.
HD
Over 500
PVR,
hours in that.
Such a piece of shit hardware.
Yes, terrible.
That thing fucking like you had to plug the cables in the right sequence.
This was like 2013, dude.
Yeah,
like
it
this
sucked.
is the olden times.
Like, thank God for like, look, the Elgato also its fair share of problems, but it is HD PVR. It is not. Fuck that thing. It's also huge. So Mass Effect 3, I think it's a game that has a lot of momentum, and that, you know, it stands on the shoulders of the better Mass Effect games before it, and those games make 3 good. I think the DLC in 3 is awesome. It sucks that some of the things were DLC when they should have just been in the game. I think that
most
sucks.
of the DLC. Well, no, yeah, but like the Leviathan shit, that's pretty critical.
Yes.
The Prothean shit, that's pretty critical. The Citadel thing where you get to like host a party with all your friends. I understand why you make that a DLC, but also that feels like a thing that should have been in the game too.
Yes.
That part of it's tough. All that said, I totally agree. The DLC is
as a whole
amazing.
Package. Yeah, as a whole package.
Content. Yeah.
Yes. That party is some fucking
so fucking good.
And it only works because it is the 3rd video game in a series.
Yes. Well, and the end of the series and
So 3, hell yeah. It like really, if the Mass Effect 3 Horde mode was not there, this would be Mass Effect 2. But it is, so it's 3.
I struggle with Mass Effect 3 because I found the story in that game to be so wildly underwhelming and so much of the side content to be wildly underwhelming that it like really depressed me with that Horde mode. It's good shit.
Man. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. 14. We're moving right along here. At number 14, I have Spiritfarer, aka game that makes me cry just thinking about it. I played this. This came out in 2020. So I played early on in the pandemic. I was newly a dad. I had feelings playing Spiritfarer. Atul, the blue frog uncle character, is one of my all-time favorite video game characters. I have a very depressing story about how that went for me that I will not tell for the sake of time here. But that game, I mentioned Gone Home. I look back at games that hit me emotionally with far more like reverence than a lot of other types of games. Like I like open world games, I like RPGs, but games that make me like really truly feel in ways that TV or movies or music cannot. The interactive medium makes the thing work, and Spiritfarer is a great example of that. And that aside, like the actual gameplay is very fun. Building your ship out and customizing and all the little side activities that you can do. It just has like a magical aura about it and really fun personality, despite some of the like sadness that you get with it. But yeah, Spiritfarer, probably the game that made me cry more than any other game I've ever played.
Speaking of making you cry, man, I bawled at my 14. Pikmin 4, man, it's real sad. I'm kidding. But no,
when you lose all those Pikmin,
I was like, is there something I don't know about
when you
Pikmin
see all their
4?
little ghosts go into the
their souls.
Pikmin 4 is so fucking good. I could not believe how much fun that game is. I'm not like a huge Pikmin mark. I think I've only really played like half of 1, and I never played 2 and 3.
Yeah, me neither.
Pikmin 4 is so much fun. That's
cool.
Such a fun, good video game to play.
That's a Switch game?
Mm-hmm. It's on Switch.
We might actually own that. I might need play that.
It is I was shocked. It is a very good time. You got a little dog in this one that all your Pikmin can ride on, and
nice.
It is a ton of freaking fun.
this is a total aside, Cody, but if you've not heard of it, you should check out a game called The Wild at Heart. It is a 2D Pikmin game, essentially. It's very like 80s retro sci-fi Stranger Things kind of coded in its story, but it's basically Pikmin mechanics, and I found it very endearing.
All right, check it out.
I forget, what was that one game? I think
is it like Dinkum?
No, Dinkum's the animal, Australian Animal Crossing. Tinykin, yeah. Tinykin was very, very good. All right, my number 14 is Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I really struggled with where to put this one. I think had the remaster not come out, I think it would have been higher than it is. Because I super enjoyed the remaster. I had a ton of fun with it, but it did remind me of a lot of the limitations that my memory has just kind of glossed over in favor of like rose-tinted glasses view on it. I do, like, for me, it is definitely still Oblivion over Skyrim. I think Skyrim's awesome. It used to be like no contest Oblivion over Skyrim, but since the remaster came out, I'm like, they're a little closer than perhaps I was putting in my mind. So if there was a top 50, Skyrim would absolutely be on that. But I think, 14 felt like a good spot for Oblivion. I love that video game.
Does the remaster, is that your definitive version of this game? So like, would you consider
It's hard to say. It is different. It feels different. The leveling's a little different. There's just like, it feels weird. The remaster, it feels wrong in some ways. Better in some, but also kind of wrong in some other ways. It's a weird one.
You could still go back and mod the original too.
Yeah.
Modding isn't really a thing with the new one.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny, like, I have the opposite feeling about it, where I really appreciated Oblivion, and a lot of it's because of how much you loved it, Kyle. I remember when I looked at these lists, I was surprised Oblivion wasn't higher on your list, but your justification makes a lot of sense. But for me, I appreciated Oblivion and didn't love it as much, but playing the remaster is making me actually appreciate and enjoy it far more than my memory of it, because I'm a huge Skyrim guy, and so playing a new version of it, I'm like loving it. It's an amazing game. Such good writing in there.
And I do think it, like, the remaster's kind of averaging out people's feelings on it, I think, a little bit. Like, people who maybe weren't super into it, it is slightly more accessible now because of the remaster, and just like in terms of being able to run it on modern systems and stuff. Yes, but like gameplay design wise, it is a little more accessible to some of the quality of life stuff. And so that has certainly raised its position in some people's estimations. And then, but for me, it was just kind of like a reminder of, oh yeah, there are these rough edges that subsequent Bethesda games have sanded down, and maybe they've kind of lost something along the way in doing that, but also they are rough edges. So it's a complicated thing series of feelings that I navigate on this one, but still, like, absolutely, it's my top 14 game of the last 25 years. So
I think it's a good example of really what's hard about this exercise in general is, like, when you look at a game that came out 25 years ago versus a game that came out last year, the quality of playing and feel of gameplay in a more recent game is almost unilaterally going to be better.
Right.
The systems are going to make more sense. Things are going to be more integrated. The graphics are going to be better. And it's really hard to separate the nostalgia part of it from the analytical game design part of it. The objective, like, but the point of it is, like, who gives a fuck about objectivity? That's not the point when we talk about our favorite things. So much of talking about our favorite things is about how these games made us feel. I feel like that's the, listeners and viewers, the biggest thing you'll get out of this is most of what we're talking about is how we felt when we played these games and how these games made us feel. And a lot of that's time and place and where we were in our lives and our age and what, playing with friends, etc. And so a game like Oblivion, a lot of its systems and graphics might be better in the new version, but part of the magic of what you love about it is the original game, and you can't recreate that. So that's what it makes this fun, but also impossible. And
right. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to number 13. At number 13, I have God of War Ragnarok, but I can't talk about God of War Ragnarok because someone else has God of War Ragnarok on their list.
That's me.
Cody, what do you have? Oh, yeah. You also have God of War Ragnarok at 13.
Crazy.
Yeah. Not planned.
That's funny.
You start.
Man, this is such a good fucking sequel. It's such a good follow-up to that first game. The ability to get segments where you play as Atreus really, I feel like, added a lot to that story.
Boy.
Yeah, man. I could sing its praises all day. I think the story and the way that they continue that story and even kind of wrap up that story are really well done. Yeah, it's a really good time.
Christopher Judge is so good in it as Kratos.
Incredible.
Oh man.
Not to talk too much about the first game here, because we'll talk about it later, but the biggest comparison that I would draw between the two is playing the first game, the emotional weight of the ending of it. And I wasn't even a dad yet, but the feeling of that like sense of longing and purpose sort of resolving when they, spread the mom's ashes and that bond that they shared together. Playing the second game all the way through, I was like, there's no way it's going to hit me the way that ending hit me. And then the ending of Ragnarok happens.
It's so
and
good.
To be fair, I was a dad at this point, but then I was just like, I can't handle this. Just his moment of letting his son go. Like, it just, it hits. But I think to me at least, because I have both of these on my list, the reason Ragnarok is higher is I think the combat sandbox is like way improved compared to the first game. The variety and options that you have, the different weapons and things like that. I know not everybody loved, like for a lot of people, it was too much at that point. I like the Atreus stuff a little bit less, the gameplay. I think it was a nice break for the repetition of playing as Kratos, but it wasn't as fun to me. Like whenever I was playing as Atreus, I was like, I'm kind of ready to get back to Kratos. Like, let me play as Kratos. But yeah, I think the story really surprised me with how much it hit. And so many of the boss fights, particularly like against Thor and stuff, were better than anything I played in the first game.
The story for me was the thing that pushed me through. I didn't get a whole lot out of the gameplay, but like that story, because I basically just kind of mainlined a lot of the narrative stuff and got a lot out of it just from that. So
I remember texting you because you had already beaten the game and I got to like the last big zone. And frankly, in that last big zone, I was kind of like, I'm kind of ready for this to be over. This is a very long game, but I want to do everything. And I was venting to you a little bit of like, I feel like this is one zone too many. And you were like, I was explaining some side area in that last zone. And you were like, I don't know what you mean. Oh, did you miss that? And you were like, no, I didn't play anything in that last zone. I literally just went to the end of the game. Yeah. I skipped that entire area.
Yeah. Because there's like the last area, like there's all these extra bosses and stuff you can fight at that point in the game and stuff too. I did a couple of those, I think, and then was like, I don't like this. So I also played the entire game throwing the axe, and that's kind of it.
Right.
I threw the spear and the axe.
Weirdo.
And that was kind of the way I played the entire video game. I beat the last boss kind of just throwing the axe and calling it back to my hand over and over again.
Hey, whatever works,
it got me
Find
through.
Your fun.
Got me through. Cody, anything about Ragnarok?
I mean, I started, so
that's fair. My number 13. And the reason this is my number 13 is because 13 is my lucky number. And this honor goes to Xenosaga Episode 1. Der Vielzermacht. Is that the first one? Der Vielzermacht? Is that the first one, or is it?
Who gives a shit? It's nonsense.
Ein sprach Zarathustra. Some German. Xenosaga is fucking good. They're
so underrated.
Yes. Not enough people talk about Xenosaga. And every time I'm in a chat and I go, they should fucking release Xenosaga Trilogy on modern consoles, everyone's like, it's never going to happen. And it's like, at that point, just don't fucking respond to me in chat. If that's all you have to say, fuck the fuck off. That's
get your negativity out of here. Let me hope.
Yeah,
Let me
like that is
dream.
not the spirit in which I am chatting, chatters. So look, if you see me in the chat somewhere talking about Xenosaga Trilogy Remaster, give me some love and support.
You know, all those
'cause I
chats
need
that
it.
you're in.
All these chats I'm in, which is exclusively the Giant Bomb chat. But yeah, man, there's so many cutscenes in that video game.
Yes.
And they're like
that's
good.
the mark of a good JRPG.
They're good. They're not
How
like
many times can you put your controller down?
yeah. They're like, but they're
and
not.
just watch?
They're not fucking JRPG drivel cutscenes. Like they're
No, it's good.
they're
The characters
good.
are great.
yeah.
I'm
It's
curious.
emotional. It's evocative.
You both are really into this series. I like, and prior to if I didn't know you guys, I probably would have never heard of these games.
Right.
How
Right.
did you? Do you remember? Either you remember how you came to even?
Oh, that's a good question.
Came
Probably
into
just
this?
I mean,
like
we loved JRPGs, and so we sought them out. And
Yeah,
I don't remember how
okay.
we specifically found Xenosaga, but it's because we were looking for other, going
Yeah,
into
I wonder
a
if it
store
was
and
like a
saying,
Hollywood
"Do you have
video
anything
rental?"
like Final Fantasy?"
Yeah.
yeah, probably right. I don't know if it was a Hollywood video rental that turned into a purchase. Probably not. Honestly, it was probably reading PSM and like seeing it on the upcoming
That's probably true.
things.
Yeah.
So I
Hmm.
have right here for this month, my Video Game History Foundation Old Magazine of the Month is a May 98? I don't know. It like a 98 or 99 PSM, which makes me super happy that I'm getting PlayStation magazines. Because this was like your and my Shay, like our
Yes.
magazine subscription that we had, because we had mostly Sony systems. And I've been on the lookout to see if, because I have a couple of these now. I've been on the lookout to see if there's any Xenosaga stuff in any of these, and I've not
Mhm.
seen it yet. I think all of them have been too early.
That would make
Um,
sense, though.
Yeah, that's probably it. Because like it wouldn't have been there wouldn't have been a demo or anything. I don't think on any kind of demo
I don't
discs.
think so.
So it was probably just a.
But
write-up.
also, and incredible box art too. Like when you see it in
Yeah.
the store and you see one like the giant mech shit,
yeah.
but also Cosmos. Ooh, doggy. I'm picking that shit up.
Cosmos
I should also
is
clarify-
naval laser. Come on, son.
I did like a little kid voice in mockery of asking about Xenosaga, and I should clarify that I was like 15 when that game came out. So I'm old as fuck. And because I was like, wait a minute, we're talking if this was 2000s or later, when did this come out? And I was like, oh yeah, it came out in 2003. I was not a child. Definitely not a child.
No, I was 11, so I was closer to that.
Yeah, that still works.
a
You can do
little
the little
tweenie.
kid voice.
I was a little emo tween. All
right.
That's our 13.
We ready to move on? Number 12. Getting there. Cyberpunk 2077. I also feel like
I thought about
people
putting
are
this
now-
one on your line. Yeah.
people are now not fans of Cyberpunk again. Like this
Really?
game came out and it was an absolute train wreck. And then they fixed it and everybody was like, oh yeah, amazing. And then there's been a bunch of revisionist history where people are like, no, it's so disappointing compared to what they said it was going to be compared to what it was. So I feel like a lot of people are down on Cyberpunk now, which really makes me sad. Because holy shit, what a video game.
Well, I feel like people
I'm
are
not
since the Switch 2 release, like it runs really well on Switch 2.
Maybe new players coming to it on Switch 2 are
Yeah.
liking it. But a
Okay.
lot, like whenever I see commentary about Cyberpunk around, like in the last year or two, it's a lot of people talking about how disappointed they are in Cyberpunk.
Boo.
But maybe not. Maybe listeners agree with me because
I liked it from
I'm
the
not
beginning.
at all. I'm not going to defend at all. I didn't like it at the beginning.
That's
Because
crazy.
it didn't work. I bought it on PS4 and the video game didn't work. I played for like 5 or 6 hours and I was like, I'm not doing this.
That's right.
I
You got
almost
the
refunded it
PS4
and
version.
I wish that I had, but then eventually I didn't play it until it came out on PS5 with the free PS5 update. That's
Yeah.
when I went and played Cyberpunk. It was, full year plus later.
Yeah.
And I mean, as it's number 12. It's in my like top 15, top 20 games ever made. The story and the characters and the meaningful choices. So many video games give you crazy choices but they don't make good on that with how the game ends. I look at something like Mass Effect 3, right? All of these choices that you're making throughout the series, and it doesn't really matter when it comes down to it. It fucking matters in Cyberpunk.
Yes.
Because I made a choice at the end, and then I got the ending, and I really regretted it so much so that I reloaded a save and made a different choice.
Yeah.
Because I was like, V can't go out like this.
Right,
I need to do something different. But also just the freedom and sense of movement and, the different abilities and playing the 2.0 update, I think really makes the gameplay even better because of all the skills and stuff like that.
Right. The ability
to
Phantom
Liberty DLC
stuff
is incredible.
Yeah.
It depresses me very much to think about the fact that I will be well into my 40s by the time the sequel comes out. But I am looking forward to it nonetheless.
For sure.
We can now talk about Uncharted 2 Among Thieves.
Hell yeah.
Man. That I distinctly remember, and this goes to what you were saying, Shay, about how these games on these lists are so tied to memories and feelings of the time of playing them versus their objective, qualities. But I remember booting up Uncharted 2 for the first time, and it opens with that train sequence.
Yeah.
And just being blown
Holy
the
shit.
fuck away.
It's an action movie. It's a Hollywood AAA action movie. Like no video game had ever been before it, including the first game.
Yeah, totally.
The sense of production value and the cinematography, like it absolutely melted my mind to think that a video game not could look like this from a graphics perspective, but could look like this from a production, cinematography, direction standpoint. It looked like a Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yep.
And all the moment-to-moment gameplay systems, they significantly tightened up and iterated on from the first one.
A lot of it, it's a third-person cover shooter, but it's still it's super fun. You're just murking dudes.
Yeah.
Chloe Fraser in this one.
I was gonna say, if you didn't bring it up, that was gonna be the biggest. That was gonna be my only additional note was Chloe Fraser. Enough said.
Yeah. That's Claudia Black voices her, right?
Yeah.
Great voice.
You got his name is
not just voice.
His name is losing me on this. Well, yeah. You got what's the guy in the Tibetan city that you go to and he helps you out? Can't remember his name.
Sure. Yeah, I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's a great character.
Yeah,
side character. Yeah. It is such a good follow up to that first one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great game.
My number 12 is The Last of Us Part 2, but we're going to have to wait because someone has it higher.
I wonder if it's me.
Probably not, huh?
Let's look at number 11, and then we'll be in our top 10. One more to go. At number 11, I have Ghost of Tsushima. I think when all is said and done, this game will end up in my top 10 video games of all time. Every time I look at my top 100, it creeps up a little bit more. This game, I think, is the best open world RPG, modern open world RPG that I have played. The sense of place and wonderment and splendor of the environments. It's the most beautiful game I've ever played. And a lot of it's the particle effects, but also a lot of it's just the setting and the realization of the setting. And the gameplay is so fucking good. The different stances. I know there's a lot of criticism around you don't have to play around with the stances. You don't have to use all the different tactics and the items at your disposal, which is totally true and valid criticism. But for me, making my own fun and experimenting and whenever I would go up to a camp, I have the mindset of do I want to sneaky sneak or do I want to just walk up to the fucking front door? What approach am I going to take? Let me pick my armor with the right skills and the right abilities for what I'm going to do. And let me just go for it. And that sense of freedom and experimentation that the game enables, I think is really awesome. I also personally loved the story, the character story of the main character and just his growth and sort of anti-growth in a lot of ways, right? His backtracking and sort of the evil that he plays around with and his sense of self. But I love this game and I have very high hopes for Ghost of Yotei. Please don't disappoint.
Similarly to how I played God of War Ragnarok, I played all of Ghost of Tsushima doing the counter draw move. Just like the one hit counter kill.
Yeah.
It
feels good to do.
That's a good way to play that game.
Yeah.
Let's see. My number 11 is Return of the Obra Dinn. I think this is probably my favorite puzzle game of all time.
Yeah. Shit.
The art style is just so fucking cool.
Yeah.
The way it's like, what is that called? Like an old, like a dot matrix sort of look to it. Like a 3D dot matrix.
It's like old comic book panels, like where the art was made of the color dots and stuff.
Just
There's like a little bit of that.
Green. It was all just like shades of green, and it was as you go around. But the way that you'd walk up to a dead body, you'd use your little stopwatch, and you'd go back in time, and you're just given some audio leading up to a like frozen in time scene, and you're walking around, you're looking at everyone, you're deducing, oh well, this guy clearly took a squid's tentacle through the gut. So then you go into your notebook, you make note of that, and you're deducing who killed who via all these sort of still scenes. And man, the feeling of getting it right is always so good. It is by far, I think, my favorite puzzle game to date.
Yeah, it rewards you with those like little jingles and stuff.
Yes.
And we got him. And we got him. Yeah, that was being able to play that, like you and I sitting next to each other, was a really special way to be able to play that too. That was
definitely
an absolute blast.
Yeah.
Obra Dinn is a really special one of those.
For sure.
My number 11, we can finally talk about it, is Guitar Hero 2. Cody, you had that at number 19.
Oh, yeah.
I had like a solid, probably couple years, not just a year, probably 2 years, where I would come home from school and I would hop on Guitar Hero 2 and I would like every single day play at least an hour to an hour and a half of Guitar Hero 2. I have beaten every song on every difficulty. I have a save. I think I still have it called Controller Only, which is playing on hard mode using the DualShock controller instead of the guitar and like trying to 5-star songs with that. I think the set list on Guitar Hero 2 is the best of any of them. It's just a fantastic mix of songs, and like greatly informed. Like I learned about a lot of groups that I still listen to today because of Guitar Hero.
Yeah, I was going to say there are songs I only know because of Guitar Hero. 100%.
For sure.
And it's funny, like I'll even hear a song today and my first memory will be, well, this isn't Guitar Hero. And I'll even remember playing that song. Like I have such vivid memories attached to specific songs from that game. Anytime I hear Sweet Child of Mine, I'm like, oh, I could play this with my eyes closed. like that's the first thing I think. There's so much I associate with that game now because of just how much I played it. Yeah.
I used to be able to play YYZ by Rush with my back to the TV. Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
On look, this is all on Expert, obviously. I mean, come on now. I still boot up Guitar Hero 2 and play it at least a couple times a year. I have my guitars right back there. Damn, that is an all-timer, man.
Yep.
What was it about Guitar Hero 2 compared to like the other Guitar Hero games or Rock Band? Like why Guitar Hero 2?
The guitar was best.
First
the
one,
guitar,
time and place.
The actual guitar is the best guitar. The best feeling, like fret buttons and strummer and whammy bar. It's song list, absolutely. I think the first game, the song list just is not as good in the first Guitar Hero, and also the game is really easy because it was actually really hard because it was the first game you'd ever played like that.
Sure.
So it's super hard, But then by the time the second one comes out, you have more complicated songs and more complicated and much more sophisticated like sets of notes and stuff that you have to play. 3 Legends of Rock has those boss battle things as you go through,
do too
and
much.
those
You do
suck.
too much with that.
Those kind of suck.
Yeah.
Was it? Did 4 introduce the other instruments? Because I know Rock Band obviously did, but
yeah,
I don't
Rock
remember
Band
what
did.
Guitar Hero.
And like I liked playing the drums in Rock Band. I liked being able to sing and do all the other stuff, and like also sing and play drums or sing and play guitar at the same time. That was fun. But just the interface was not as good. The guitar was terrible, and like the Rock Band guitar is awful. And so I never enjoyed playing that as much as Guitar Hero 2, even though you had more options.
I never got like super deep on any. I played tons of them like at parties and with friends and stuff, but I think for me, like, it was the pretentious musician thing that it just didn't feel like I was actually playing the instrument. And so I lost a lot of the fun
rocksmith guy,
of it.
not a guitar hero.
No, I'm an actual guitar and actual drums guy. And so it didn't feel the same. And so I just didn't like that. It was fun for parties, but I just never got super hard into it.
Right. I might play some Guitar Hero 2 after this podcast.
Well, then let's move on. We're in our top 10 now. It's the cream of the crop here. At number 10, I have Journey. This is another feels game. I think the puzzle stuff is fun. I think the exploration is fun. The game looks unbelievable. The sand tech at the time was mind-blowing. But the biggest thing was how it dealt with co-op.
Right.
No chat, no voice. It was just chirping, right, back and forth.
Yep.
And I will never forget my experience the first time playing through Journey, where like pretty early on, I randomly had someone show up in my game, and it was so exciting. We're just chirping back and forth, and we played the entirety of the game together until the penultimate thing where you're climbing this hill and there's wind that's like knocking you back, and you're hiding behind these like gravestones of the characters that have come before you and didn't make it. And I'm like working my way through, and my partner's like behind me, and we're slowly making our progress. I get to the top. I'm jumping around, chirping and celebrating. I turn around to like celebrate, and the dude's not there. I don't know what happened. If his game dropped, if his internet cut out, if he quit the game, if he died and, failed and decided not to continue, but he was gone. And so then I did like the little epilogue celebratory thing, and it felt kind of hollow because like I missed my friend. And like the way that a game can make you feel that, I don't even know who this person is. Right. Never talked to him. Never going to see him again. I don't even know their username. And it blew my mind for a game like that to be able to accomplish something in such a simple way. So yeah, it's a special one.
Yeah.
My number 10 is Astrobot, and I'm actually surprised I'm able to talk about this. And Kyle maybe less so, but Shay, I'm surprised.
It was on my short list.
Okay.
I struggled a lot. Because I was like, if I'm gonna put Astrobot on here, I have to put Helldivers 2, and it didn't feel right to take 2 games off to fit those 2 on, so it just didn't make it. But yes,
Sure.
I agree with everything you're about to say about Astrobot.
Man, it's a real damn good platformer. It is on par with the best Mario has ever been. And for what it's worth, I think all the features of the PS5 DualSense controller work really well with that game. They do a lot of stuff with that game that I think works really well. I like all the sort of the micro vibrations when you run into a bunch of objects in the world, or when you run through grass and stuff. I think that all feels really good. It is just so freaking fun to play. Very satisfying abilities. All the abilities are very varied and fun, and some they only use for literally one level. Like they do sort of a big and small world for one level, and that's a really cool mechanic that you get to do in there. Yeah, man, it is a top tier 3D platformer for sure.
Yeah, in terms of like a straightforward, I don't mean that pejoratively, but like a straightforward platformer, it's probably the best platformer I've ever played.
Yeah.
I mean, because like Odyssey is a different kind of animal. I've got a game later on that's a different kind of animal, but in terms of simple platforming, just the feel of it, the variety, the creativity, the sense of style, the music, it's a very special game.
For sure.
My number 10 is the first Animal Crossing. I think we talked about this recently on Games That Don't Suck. About my creepy serial killer basement town replica. Dude, like I've said it multiple times, this is the game that made me buy a GameCube. Spent the night at a friend's house. He had a GameCube and Animal Crossing, and I didn't go to bed that night. I just played Animal Crossing on his GameCube, and then like went home and was like, Mom, I need a GameCube. Like, I don't want to continue living if I can't play Animal Crossing more. I need to be checking in on these villagers every day. Yeah, just like without a strategy guide, like just going into it raw, the sense of discovery on like what kind of furniture sets are there going to be? How much can you upgrade your house? Like how far does it go? Like how many fish are there to catch? How many bugs? How many fossils are there to fill out the museum? Like what's going to happen every holiday? Like I have to log on to Animal Crossing on this holiday to find out what the event's going to be and what I can get from it. Yeah, that first Animal Crossing is really, really special. I think New Horizons does a lot. But there's something about the purity of that first one that sticks with me more.
Yeah. Okay. Number 9, single digits. What do I have? I don't remember. Portal 2. We can actually talk about Portal 2. Cody, you've got Portal 2 down at 24. Why do you hate Portal 2?
I don't. I like it very much, actually. There's just
not enough.
11 games I like more. Something like that.
This is my favorite puzzle game ever made. Not just because I think the puzzles are brilliant and creative within a very like specific, you're only doing 2 things, right? Like you can make 2 portals and you have to do that to accomplish everything else in the entire game. But the layering on of the different, whatever the gax, the like different colored liquid juices, I don't remember what they are in that game, really like, messes with your mind in a fun way compared to the first game. And then layering on top of that, the sense of humor and the writing and the characters and stuff, the way that it turns GLaDOS into sort of a friend for you during the game is crazy. Like GLaDOS, and when Portal 2 came out, I was like, this is an all-time great villain. And the fact that they can make Wheatley, a character who's your friend at the beginning, into a villain, and make GLaDOS, who is a villain, into your friend, is a very fun, very creative approach. So that's my pinnacle of puzzle games is Portal 2.
Also, it's great and cooperatively. So
I've only played a little bit co-op, but I have always wanted to play more.
And the nice thing about that is it's a totally different game. I mean, all new puzzles. I mean, it's nothing like the single player.
Yeah, and all the what's that actor's name? Hank Bardukas,
Stephen Merchant. Oh, no. J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons. Yeah, all the J.K. Simmons stuff is incredibly funny. So good.
My number 9 is actually a game that came out this year. It is Clair Obscure's Expedition 33. I won't go into too much. I talked about that on a recent podcast episode. It very quickly became one of my favorite games of all time. I think it's got a phenomenal story. I think I really resonated with the gameplay a lot. I had a lot of fun, min-maxing and creating some cool builds with those characters. I will absolutely be replaying this for the years to come. And I mean, I not much more to say other than what I've already said about that game. It's really good.
Yeah, the story is very emotional.
Yeah.
As someone that doesn't have a lot of games on my list from the last 2 to 3 years, I like, Cody, that you have 2 games that came out in 2025 on your top 25 list. It gives me hope for video games.
Sure.
My number 9 is the first Dead Space. It's like it felt like the logical follow on from Resident Evil 4. It very much steeped in that DNA, obviously, but the ways at which it pushed forward the horror genre in sound design, in lighting technology at the time as well, the things they were doing, the things they do in that first Dead Space game are crazy good. The diegetic UI that after Dead Space came out became super popular. There's a lot of really, really interesting gears turning behind the scenes in that first Dead Space game. I also just like quickly became enamored with that universe and like the cult around the marker and all that other stuff. And like I read the comics and the books, and I think there's like a animated short film. I've consumed all the Dead Space content that I can. It was my first platinum as well on PlayStation 3. Played the whole game with just the plasma cutter, and I loved every second of it. That's how good that game is. Like just like the first gun you get, if you can make the whole game be fun and viable with that first weapon, that's kind of cool. Yeah, the USG Ishimura, one of the all-time settings for a horror game.
And it's got a really good remaster too. The recent remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it.
The remake, what they do about like the structure of the game, the way they make the changes there are really smart. Make it feel,
and it looks and sounds incredible. Also,
yeah, for sure.
It goes beyond that, because like most remasters look the way you remember the game looking, but they obviously look better than the original version. The new version of Dead Space looks better, much better than you remember the first game looking, because it looks so fucking good.
Yeah.
Dead Space started out like in my first pass at this list, it was at like 16, 17 before I had both God of Wars and both Uncharted's and things like that, and it just moved down. But yeah, it was a strong contender for my top 25 as well.
Yeah,
and that's from someone that hates horror games.
Yeah, and then like I was so excited for it pre-launch as well. Like GameStop gave out those 3D art books that had like the red blue 3D glass things in the back that you could put on and like look through the like 3-dimensional like necromorph art and all that other kind of stuff inside the pages. And so like that was like a pre-order bonus or something. I think they gave those out when you pre-ordered it. I just remember like flipping through that thing like, this game's gonna scare the shit out of me. I can't wait to play it. That's a real special one.
Okay, are we ready to move on to number 8?
Yeah.
Number 8. Boom.
At number 8, I have The Last of Us, and it's crazy. Like, we're in our top 10, but we can't talk about The Last of Us yet. We gotta wait. Some other folks have it higher.
I have at number 8 the first Death Stranding, which I think even after I finish 2, I think I'm at, like, there is something I'm missing in 2 that I definitely got in the first game. That I don't think I'm going to get out of the second one, and that's fine. They're different experiences, but man, I really liked that first Death Stranding game. I really liked that game when it came out. I know it was sort of, I don't want to say it was a cult classic, but I feel like there was a lot of people who were just like, what is this?
Very
like,
divisive. Yeah.
Yes, very, very much so. And I sort of fell on the side that like, man, I love whatever this is. I love the feeling I get making these deliveries. I love the zany, wacky, stupid story. And replaying it recently, man, all those feelings were just cemented. The director's cut is an excellent version of that game. And I just really, 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 really enjoy everything that game has to offer. And that's a good spot for me at number 8.
Yeah. My number 8's Metal Gear Solid 4, the best Metal Gear Solid video game, which is an opinion that only I have.
Also, like the hardest one to go back and play, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or to be able to play.
Yep. Turns out, that
PS3 sucks, man.
Feels pretty fucking bad. I like someday I'll be able to play Metal Gear Solid 4 in a solid 60 frames. That'll be a very good day for me. But that day is not today, or today is not this day. Metal Gear Solid 4, I just like Xenosaga, I like a game where I can put the controller down and watch a movie for a while. Metal Gear Solid 4 has a lot of movies in it. And they're very entertaining, weird, strange cutscenes. Like, also it being such a love letter to the story of Snake, and like in all the ways that Mass Effect 3 fails you at the end, Metal Gear Solid 4, like, what a hell of a wrap up for that character. It's so incredible. And there's a lot of Metal Gear Solid 4 DNA in another video game that Kojima has made recently, is what I'll say. I can't say anything else. Because spoilers. But there's Metal Gear Solid 4. There's so many systems. What?
PT? Is that the one you
I'm
meant?
talking about PT. Yeah. There's, the war economy in PT, I felt like was like a really early iteration of it. I just that monkey, when you buy shit from Drebin's shop, like you make a purchase and the monkey goes whenever you make a purchase. That fucking diaper monkey is like space blanket diaper, smoking a cigarette, drinking fake Coke. God, man, that game is fucking crazy. That video game is insane. It feels great.
Surprisingly, not the best vendor in a game on your list.
That's true.
You're a sucker for vendors, apparently.
Every time I think about Metal Gear Solid 4, I'm like, I need to go play this video game right fucking now. And unfortunately, that means loading it up on my PS3 and playing at about 25 frames a second. Damn it.
Not ideal.
The game has an iPod in it that you can scroll like an iPod. It's TM, amazing. Trademark iPod. That's my number 8.
Love it. All right, number 7. What do we got at number 7? I have Mass Effect 2, which we can now talk about. Cody had Mass Effect 2 at number 17. Cody, why do you hate Mass Effect 2?
I also don't hate that game. I like it very much.
Mass Effect 2 has some of the best characters, some of the best character quests in any game, the loyalty missions, not just the actual missions being amazing, but the entire conceit around the missions that you need to unlock them by engaging with those characters and, talking to them and making the right kind of dialogue decisions to get closer to them. And the way that it manifests in the suicide mission at the end, picking the right people for the right jobs, and you need to have affinity for them in order for them to trust you and make it through. Such a cool concept for a game like this. I think that final boss battle against like human blood robot giant thing is pretty fucking lame. But that's just about the only bad thing about Mass Effect 2.
Yeah. That's a good ass video game.
Yeah, it sure
good
is.
Ass video game.
My number 7 was the first Marvel Spider-Man. While I agree with you that I do believe mechanically and sort of maybe even objectively 2 is better, I just remember being, again, just so blown away by...
Yes.
There were such high expectations for how that swinging needed to feel, the attitude the game had, coming off of what was previously the best game in Spider-Man 2. I mean, it needed to be what that game was for us at that time. And man, they delivered. And the story at the end with Doc Ock is so powerful. I mean, it's emotional.
And surprising. Killing Aunt May at the end, really kind of was a gut punch. Yeah.
Totally. I mean that game is so special to me and so
I don't blame you at all for picking that one. I like hemmed and hawed because very similar mentality that as like the first one, how special it felt as the first one is totally worth celebrating. So there's a universe where I could have forced both of them on my top 25.
I have Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire as my number 7. This is my Pokemon entry on my list. It is my favorite generation, and it mostly has to do with the color saturation. I do like all the different HMs, like the waterfall and dive, and it just makes it like, it's unfortunate that it takes up more moves on your team, but
it's just that they're all water oriented.
Yeah, but there's also like the bike where you have like the acro bike and the mock bike that like are getting you through the different parts of the environment and stuff, and like it makes the world feel more adventurous instead of just like,
sure,
there's a path you take, and like this is the path through the video game. It feels like it's more of an adventure. And I really, really like also like the secret base stuff, like decorating your secret base. Of course, I would like that.
Yeah.
And I like the abilities.
Good decks also.
Yeah, fantastic decks. It like the abilities that it added. Every Pokemon has a special ability. That added a nice wrinkle in how like not every one of the same Pokemon has the same special ability. They can have like a couple different ones, which made like catching Pokemon, like, oh, I got one, but it didn't have the special ability I wanted, so I'm gonna find it. Like, so it made like the chase a little bit more deeper, a little bit more exciting. Yeah, I really, when there is one that when I get the hankering to go back and play a Pokemon game, it is always Ruby and Sapphire for me. C dot forever.
So adorable, and such a bummer because Shiftry is a hideous Pokemon design.
Yeah, do not let C dot evolve.
Nuzleaf is all right.
Nuzleaf is cool.
Sorry.
But Shiftry
don't
sucks.
let Nuzleaf evolve.
But you can get that fucking extra sensory, bro. Get that psychic power on his is the dark type.
Right.
It's good shit. I actually just replayed this game recently, so it's
hell yeah.
very top of mind. Yeah, the overabundance of water is my biggest criticism.
Yeah.
Like so many water HMs, so much water exploration, it like really kind of hampers your party makeup and how you can set that stuff up.
Especially when it's
that's my really only criticism.
When it's supposed to be like, that's the Kyogre, whatever.
Yes.
Half the like Groudon fire stuff is like barely in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you also have like Latios and Latias, and you have all the Reggies. So it has like a lot of legendary.
It has
Pokemon.
a lot of the legendary
and the
stuff.
Reggies are like, it's like a whole to go seek them out.
Yep.
Like that was that felt like more of a making good on the unknown, like the ancient Pokemon premise. It felt like it was a little further developed in Ruby and Sapphire. Like there was a little bit more of there were like actual mechanics at play.
Well, yeah, it's like they got better at end game as the series went on, and that was like the first one where they had a good end game.
Yeah.
All right, number 6. What do we got here? For me, number 6 is Super Mario Galaxy. This is my best 3D platformer, best Mario game. Not technically, I Super Mario World I think is the best Mario game, but doesn't qualify here. This is the one that I 100%ed. Cody, you did that for Super Mario Odyssey. This is the one I got to all 242 stars. It's probably like my favorite gaming achievement because it was a slog to do like the purple star levels as fucking Luigi because that fucker slides around everywhere. What a douchebag.
I remember watching you play those levels. Holy
it's brutal.
Shit.
It's brutal.
With a Wiimote, no less.
Yes.
With a Wiimote, yeah. But yeah, I just the sense of discovery and exploration and such a cool mechanic with the different planetoids and stuff that you're running around, and it really fucks with your mind in a super fun way. I think the second game is also excellent, and a lot of the stuff they added with Yoshi really, really works. But the first game, the simplicity of it, I just think is like a better overall experience.
My number 6 is Baldur's Gate 3. So, wow, this game is I've of the games on here, I think this is probably the game that I have played from beginning to end the most times.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not a short game.
No, it's quite long, in fact. So I think part of the reason why I enjoy it so much is, for me, I struggle with the theater of mind with like actual tabletop RPGs. So like anytime I've tried to do D&D, I just can't see it. And it's hard for me to engage in a game like that because I need options, I need visuals, I need all these things. I guess I'm not maybe not creative enough to come up with them on my own. I'm not sure what it is, but I've never been able to gel with a TTRPG. And Baldur's Gate gives me all of those things that I'm lacking to be able to engage with something like D&D.
Right.
Wherein anything in Baldur's Gate emulates this very well, but like in a D&D game, anything that you can think to do,
right,
you can do. And you can pretty much, for the most part, do that in Baldur's Gate. So like,
right. And
how do I want to approach this?
The game is kind of a miracle in that way.
It's crazy that they were able to do it.
I mean, I go into a comment encounter and it's just like, this was on one of the first playthroughs I had done with Kyle. There's a boss and we're just like,
right.
There's a pit behind him. Can we just go up there and just kick him into that? And sure enough, we just did that.
You don't get his shit, but you can certainly do that.
Like, so like, I just, that freedom and creativity and because I'm given all these options in front of me, on a large ability bar at the bottom, that helps me to then come up with these creative ideas versus, having to do that in a theater of mind in a TTRPG. And for that, I really like it. And man, I love Baldur's Gate. It is so goddamn good.
Well, Cody, you're still more creative than me because I also am not good at that in tabletop games, and yet I still wasn't good at it in Baldur's Gate 3. And that was the biggest failing for me. It still felt like I needed to be more creative than I wanted to be or was able to be. And I just got my ass kicked like 3 times in a row in a fight. And I was just like, I'm not having fun with the combat. And it's a me thing, right? Like they give you so much freedom, but I don't know how to take advantage of it. And I wasn't patient enough to figure that out.
Sure.
But, it's another game that I respect the hell out of for what it does and love the writing in that game.
Oh, yeah, so dude. Yeah, the writing's incredible. So I think like the first 2 acts of that video game are pretty unassailable. And then it really fell apart for me in Act 3, which is, Cody, that's where you and I stopped playing together. That's where I fell off.
It's very dense.
Yes, because you get into actual Baldur's Gate, and it at the time it ran like shit on my computer. It just couldn't handle it. And then also they just pulled in so many directions that it became really hard to like keep the party together, and it was just, there was a lot going on.
Part of that is I don't think that's a very good multiplayer game. I think it's meant to be played by yourself all the way through.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't want to do that though, because the level of micromanaging you need to do moment to moment is a little cumbersome, and with how long the game is.
But at the same time, I think your experience is tarnished by having another person there. Like the other person could go start a dialogue or continue the story, and you may not realize that and then miss out on, whatever that is. Or, you might have 2 conflicting opinions on how to tackle something, and someone just does something and it ruins your plan. And so I like both of those are true in that. I think you're right. It is more cumbersome having to manage everyone with one person, but at the same time, I do think for narratively that that is the better way to play. But
that makes sense.
And I mean, but that is also emulative of the party-based tabletop role-playing game.
Totally.
Where like if you're playing your character, which ostensibly you should be doing and doing choices that they would make, like
you can't just ignore someone.
There's going to be friction, and like people are going to do their own thing sometimes.
Yeah.
And so the game allows for that. And just kind of, that can be a negative experience sometimes, but it does allow for it. All right, my number 6 is the first Last of Us, but we're gonna have to wait to talk about it.
We still can't talk about it. I wonder who has it higher.
Couldn't be me.
All right, let's look at number 5.
We're in our top
5 favorite games of the last quarter century. Crazy. For me, it is Final Fantasy X. And we can't talk about it, which is crazy.
For me, it's God of War 2018, so we can talk about this one. Show you at this down at 19. Why don't you like it?
Don't steal my bit.
For the same reasons as I stated, with Spider-Man, there were such lofty expectations. I shouldn't even say there were expectations, because when this was revealed, I didn't have an inkling that this was going to be a thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, because you weren't a huge God of War fan.
I thought they were all
you?
they
thought they
good.
were fine.
I played through all of them. I mean, 1 through 3. I didn't play Ascension, but
well,
I mean,
not very many people did.
I liked 3 definitely the most prior to that.
Yeah.
But
first person punching Zeus.
Yeah,
at the end, beating the shit out of Zeus in first person. 3 is pretty cool.
Again, I mentioned this on a previous podcast or a recent podcast that reveal was one of the best E3 memories I think I could have when Kratos comes out. And again, just being so shocked at the change of perspective. You know, we've gotten over the shoulder, a lot closer, more intimate combat, much greater focus on storytelling. The fact that game's all technically one shot, I think, is really cool and adds a lot to that.
It's more than a gimmick. Like it
totally.
felt like a marketing stunt, and then when you play it, it really, really just sucks you in and really immerses you.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
It's just a really powerful, emotional story, and just a really great time. Yeah,
though I do. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that the scene that sticks with me from that game the most is when you go back to get the blades, and Athena's talking to you on the boat.
Yeah.
I was so fucking hype in that moment. Oh man, that was such a good callback and just a really great part.
And like the low choral stuff is playing at that time. It's good shit. Yeah, despite thinking the Ragnarok is a better game overall, certainly higher on my list, the Lake of the Nines section of the first God of War, and when you return to it and you're manipulating the levels of water to explore, like that open zone, right? Because it's not an open world, but that open zone I think is probably better than any of the zones in Ragnarok. I think Ragnarok is an amazing game and really fun exploration, but that Lake of the Nines thing in the first game is like so fucking cool to explore.
They were cooking.
Yeah.
My number 5 is the first Kingdom Hearts video game, but we're gonna have to wait to talk about it.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to number 4. Spoiler alert. At number 4, I have the first Kingdom Hearts game.
Oh, we can talk about it.
But we still can't talk about it.
Oh, no, we can't talk about it.
I have The Last of Us Part 2 as my number 4. The Last of Us is a very special franchise to me. We forget the show exists, but the games are excellent.
Yes,
that sequel, in a lot of ways, plays a lot better than the first game. I think
no doubt
to play that game, and visually, it's stunning. I mean, obviously they've done some stuff with part 1 to make it look a lot better, but the physics in that game, all the animations, just all of it just blew me away. The Last of Us as a franchise is very important to me, and I really love that second game.
Yeah. I like, sometimes I'm in the mood to feel pain that I choose to feel. And so I play The Last of Us Part 2 and revel in it. And it's like a little bit of like controlled, self-inflicted emotional agony. Can feel very cathartic for me sometimes. And when I feel like I am in need of that, it is The Last of Us every time. Because I'm so in love with the characters and the setting, the gameplay systems, everything about it is just Kyle all the way down. And then to have the story be as affecting and as dramatic and soulful as it is, it really, fuck, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
Are you going to play the so Last of Us Part 2 just got an update. You can play it chronologically.
Totally.
You and I just got the complete collection for Last of Us 1 and 2. I'm definitely going to play the chronological for Part 2 when I get to that.
Yeah. Shay's silent because he's just so wrought with emotion thinking about how much he liked that game.
Parentheses negative.
I know. I am being quiet because this is a celebration of our favorite games, and I have nothing to add to what you guys are saying.
All right. My number 4 is Final Fantasy X, and we can finally talk about it.
I had it at number 5. Why do I hate Final Fantasy X?
There it is.
There we go. All right. So here's the thing about Final Fantasy X. It's a perfect video game. It's a perfect video game.
If you ignore Blitzball.
Yeah.
It's a 99% perfect video game.
But even Blitzball, the fact that it exists,
don't justify.
Ironically, you can ironically enjoy the fact that Blitzball exists and how ridiculous and dumb it is, and that increases my enjoyment of Final Fantasy X.
That extra 1%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. That totally makes sense.
I will also
say
agree. I have never legendary weaponed Final Fantasy X.
None of them?
So, no.
I've never gotten all of them because Waka's you need to play dozens of hours of
yes.
Blitzball to do. But I did the other.
What was the one with the mirrors that you do?
I think that's Spiritfarer. I think that's Katamari.
Oh, Kamari's. Yeah, I did that one because that was easy. Yeah.
The butterfly one? That's not easy, dude. The butterfly trials are a pain in the fucking ass.
Because I don't remember that being hard.
The 3D movement is not great, and I accidentally run into butterflies all the time.
Skill issue.
True. But like I think Lulu is the Thunder Plains, like avoid 200 Thunder Strikes in a row, which there's a hack to that. There's a cheat to that makes it much easier. It's still tedious.
Yeah.
Isn't that the name of the character?
Still tedious.
Still tedious.
Okay.
Still tedious. Fuck, dude. Now I need to go play Final Fantasy X.
I did recently. Don't tempt me. I'm telling myself I don't need to play Final Fantasy X. I played it like a year ago.
The HD remasters are so good.
So good.
Because you can do the speed up, but it still plays the music at normal speed, and the music is fucking incredible.
Yes.
Some of the best video game music ever composed for a video game.
Such a cool combat system also.
Yes. The way that they turn-based games didn't used to do this. Putting the list of who's going to come up when. Incredible.
Strategy. Swapping your guys in and out. It's good shit.
Hasting and slowing enemies to move their spots on the thing strategically to get the extra hits in. Come on, son.
Hell yeah.
Final Fantasy X.
So if I were to go sicko mode and get these legendary weapons, I would do more than you've done in one of your favorite games.
Yeah.
I might have to do that.
You won't. You're not going to go. Trust me. You're not going to go play Blitzball.
You don't know me, dude. I'll throw myself at anything for long enough to get it done.
Even if it's not just a timing. Like there is a like strategy and education that you need to do because you need to be leveling up specific types of players in order to be good enough to beat other specific types of teams.
Yep.
It's tedious. No pun intended.
And if you don't get the jet shot in the one spot you're able to get the jet shot in the middle of a cutscene, then you're basically
that's the only reason
to get
that's the only way to win that first Blitzball match.
Yeah.
The one that you're forced to play. You
get the goal. You get one goal, then you run behind your goal, and the players don't know what to do, so they just like spin around and you let the timer expire.
Yeah. It's a perfect video.
You use the jet shot to get a goal, and then you grab the ball and run behind your own goal and sit there. Perfect video game. People die in Unidances, bro.
Final Fantasy X-2 is not. Oh,
we're not.
She does
going to talk about X-2.
Yes, I was thinking of dancing in Final Fantasy X-2, which is a very different game.
That is.
I have a soft spot for that game, but
I saw someone post a GIF of that pop concert at the beginning of X-2. I mean, like, look at Yuna, whatever. And I was like, motherfucker, that ain't even Yuna. Fake ass fan.
True.
Ain't even Yuna.
It's a chick whose character model is ridiculous. She's wearing like
completely
a purple,
ridiculous.
Just her boobs are just out.
just fucking.
I'm like, this is like 2003. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Again, not a child. I was in high school, but it made me feel like I was a child. We need to move on. Top three video games. And number 3, I have Minecraft. I could make a joke. Technically, I can't talk about Minecraft, but we can just go ahead and say we'll have to go out of order because someone else also has Minecraft at number 3.
It's me. I do.
Kyle.
This is the first game we all 3 have on our lists.
Is it?
Not correct. There are
Not
3
correct.
games that all 3 of us have on our list.
Okay.
But this is the first of 3, is what I'm.
No, it's not the first one that's been mentioned. No.
Oh, is it? Okay. What was the other one?
We can't say yet, bro. We're not done.
Oh, I see. I see.
Man, Minecraft, huh? What a fucking
Right?
What a video game.
I
Wow.
totally
And
owe
good.
my love of Minecraft to you, Kyle, because I like this. It's not a game that I would have been into. You had played hundreds of hours of Minecraft before I even tried it for the first time. And I have played hundreds of hours of Minecraft, and that is 1% the amount of time, Kyle, that you have played Minecraft.
Yeah.
I'm sure you too, Cody. I think I have never gotten done in a Minecraft world what I set out to get done.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I get too distracted in doing other things, and then the temptation of we start a new
Oh,
one, see what I
the
can
feeling
find.
of starting over is
Oh, the fresh Minecraft world. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm playing Minecraft right now with my kids on PS5.
while
Nice.
you're recording
It's
this.
incredible. Yeah, like literally right now.
Whoa.
The kids are underneath the desk watching on the TV. No,
Yeah.
but my kids are obsessed. They ask me all the time, "Can we play Minecraft?" Like that's the thing they
Nice.
want to do.
Hell
And
yeah.
it fills me with so much joy. And they both love doing different things. My daughter wants us to work on our house and build a third story now. She wasn't satisfied with the bedroom we built on the second floor. Now she wants to make a third floor. And
Okay.
every time we load it up, my son's like, "Can we fight bad guys?" You know,
Nice.
sometimes the gender stereotypes are true, at least with my kids.
Look, that's
My
on
son
you.
wants to kill shit, and my wife
They
or
are-
my daughter wants to build shit.
They are wet clay. Like
you know what? You're right.
And so this is a reflection of how you're raising them. So
Yeah.
how about you be a little less stereotypical?
Violence first. That's how I'm raising
across the board.
Yeah. Violence.
But this is also this is
first.
a rare game that I play a lot with my wife. Also,
Yeah.
she struggles with the 3D movement, the dual joystick movement, but she also loves it. We have tons of inside jokes from playing Minecraft. We at our first time we played together, we decided to like make our house up on stilts for some stupid reason, just for fun with ladders and stuff. And we had organized all of our stuff in our different chests and had our labels on there. And just to like be goofy, because we're so wacky, instead of like spelling it tools, we spelled it TU with an umlaut, LS. So it's like we would
So
pronounce
wacky.
it tools. And
Tools.
food, FU with the umlaut, D. And so we still reference that to each other. Like I'll be working outside. I'm like, "Hey babes, you dropped the, where are the tools?" And she's like, "With the what?" I'm like, "Oh, the tools."
Man, you
Minecraft's
two are
good.
just a couple of wacky characters.
Yes, that's why I said that. We're not actually wacky. The point
Wow.
is that this game creates endearing moments with the people that you care about.
Totally.
All right?
Yes.
Fuck you.
Totally. Absolutely.
And whether it's
Oh,
modded,
man.
vanilla, like there's so many different
Yeah.
ways to experience
Regardless
Minecraft.
of version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, holy shit. No, I have to say. I'm the one I was like, we can't talk about games for too long, otherwise this is going to be a 4-hour podcast. But I have to say, I was playing with my kids literally yesterday at the time of recording. We got into this huge, giant cave, very deep, and a thing that I had never discovered before. There was a lake in the cave, and there were glowing squids, which I had never seen before. And they looked so cool. And I told my kids, and they were like, oh my gosh, like these are so awesome, because they'd seen the squids and these are like glowing and moving around. And my son was like, go touch one, go touch one. So I jumped in the water and went underwater, and it was like fucking space. Because all these like glittery little things,
Particle
it was
effects.
like I got chills in that moment. Like I called my wife and I was like, babe, you gotta come see. This is so awesome. And then I got attacked by like some zombie water dude that was throwing spears at me, and then I ended up dying, and then I lost all the shit from like 3 hours of playing. But it was beautiful for that moment.
The drowned can spawn with tridents and throw them.
Yeah, they killed me in like 2 hits. I was pretty
They do
pissed.
a lot of damage. It's fucked up. But hey, if you kill some of those squid, you can get glowing squid ink. And you can apply that. Okay, well, you can get more. You can apply it to the text on your signs and make the text glow, which is cool.
You can also make a glowing sign too, right? I know you can, because I was looking up different things. You can add it to a not a picture frame, but like an item frame.
Item frame, yes,
and make the item frames glow.
Yeah, for sure, like a light source.
Very cool.
Yeah. Dude, like if I were to just list the number of mod packs that I have played, we'd be here for like a half hour.
Right.
It's like it is endless. It is, some people have Roblox and they're war criminals for having that. So just play Minecraft instead.
I mean, you got to consider too the like earliest version I think playable that you could play came out in 2009, and like we have pretty much been playing that
since then,
since as early as we could.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're
probably
looking
2010.
Over a decade of playing this game. Which I mean, and we're still
so many different
playing.
Things.
Yeah.
All these online communities, and Kyle, we had a whole series like where we were playing multiplayer, and you guys were doing all these story things, and then I inserted myself because that's my personality, and so we all played a couple of the story things.
Slender and Ender with Bender.
Good times.
I still get comments on those videos like, this was my childhood.
Yeah, dude, because it's
way to make me feel old as shit.
Kyle, you made a map, the Vanilla Quest shit.
Yeah, the Vanilla Quest initiative was really cool.
Yeah.
It was unfinished, but cool. That was fun.
That first episode is one of my highest viewed videos on my YouTube channel.
I remember
I would get comments, and I'm like, my brother made this.
I released it on Technic, the Technic launcher, and I would log on to that download page like as recently as like 5 years ago or something, and there were still people asking questions about where to find stuff in the Vanilla Quest initiative. I think it has like a couple 100,000 downloads or something. I don't think the Technic launcher is a thing anymore. I don't know, but it was cool. Dude, I've made a lot of fun shit in that game.
Yeah.
Good times.
The ultimate freedom game. Like, there are other games that have more systems, and I mean, you guys like that kind of game way more than I do, but in terms of the first one that was really doing that kind of thing, I mean, like Dwarf Fortress, there are other games that were doing that way before, but something about in a 3D environment, the simplicity of the graphics, but the complexity of what you could do and build and explore and craft and all the redstone shit, all of the design, even in the base version, it was like, that was freedom of creativity to me.
Yeah.
Just encapsulated in a video game.
Yeah.
What about your number 3, Cody?
Yeah, this is one that I think is also shared.
Yes, all three of us have this.
Yes. Kingdom Hearts. That first Kingdom Hearts game is something special.
Go listen to our 2002 best games 2002 list. Yeah.
Yes, I also just literally like a month ago, as of time of recording, just replayed it. Got the platinum trophy in it. Probably won't play it again for a while, if ever. But it is. Talk about so Kyle. When you were talking about Katamari Damacy, of just being this, I didn't know this is what video games could be like. That was sort of this for me. It's just like,
Yeah.
This is insane. Like, I didn't know too many of the Final Fantasy characters at that time playing this first one, but obviously I knew all the Disney stuff, and I was just like, man, like, this is crazy. Like, this is like, this
So
isn't
weird.
like Disney.
So
this
random.
is like action and with Disney characters.
Right. The best Disney video game is Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there are some great Disney games,
Yeah.
but Kingdom Hearts is the best one.
Yes. For sure.
Again, like
Yeah,
another game with an incredible soundtrack.
Oh,
Just such a good score.
even the non-Disney songs. Yeah.
Right.
Definitely go listen, watch our Best Games of 2002 podcast where we talk a lot more about Kingdom Hearts as well.
Yeah.
Let's move on to number 2. The penultimate triumvirate of games. And number 2, I have The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. This is my Oblivion. This was, I played Oblivion, but Skyrim's the Bethesda game that, like, I guess that's not true. I played Fallout, but like the fantasy Elder Scrolls game that I really sunk my teeth into. This game, I feel like if I sit and think about it for a long time, would be my favorite game ever made. There's a game, my number one game on here that is more of like an emotional attachment and like a reactionary. It's more special to me. But I think Skyrim has the things that I like in video games the most. The open world stuff, the RPG stuff, the experimentation and sense of play with the different, things that you can do. There are plenty of criticisms, right? The main storyline is not super compelling beyond just you're fighting dragons, which admittedly is very compelling.
Yeah.
The combat doesn't feel super good, at least the hand-to-hand stuff. Magic is like woefully underutilized in that game because it's super underpowered in the early game. But the sense of place, the exploration, even the Radiant Quest idea, like, yes, it gets repetitive and you can see the seams once you engage with it a ton, but as a proof of concept, so genius. Something they made really good use of in Fallout 4. You could also argue made bad use of in Fallout 4 because another sediment leacher helped. But overall, I think like seeing Bethesda try new shit in that game really hit for me. And just, the mods and everything, like that was when I really got into modding, was with Skyrim. Back when, the PC that I still have is the PC I bought to play Skyrim on PC. I need a new PC. But yeah, it's in competition for my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Zelda The Wind Waker. This is obviously by far my favorite Zelda game. I love the art style. It's surprising where I mentioned that Baldur's Gate is probably the game on this list I've beaten the most times. I've never actually beaten The Wind Waker.
Really?
Back when I used to play it, I could never find all the pieces of the Triforce, all the Triforce shards, because you had to buy all the charts and everything. You had to buy the sea charts to know where they all were. I could never figure that out. I didn't play with a guide. So I've to this day have never played that game all the way through. I was really kind of holding out hope we would get a remaster with the Switch 2. Bummer, it's only the emulation, but I think sometime soon I'll get around and I'll actually see that through. But that game's art brings it really far. It has got some hella charming art style, but outside of that, it's largely just the standard action adventure Zelda game. Mechanically, going across the seas, that's beautiful. In the boat, and the contrast of the red boat on the blue water and the green Link inside looks really nice.
It's the most interesting Zelda setting.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
like it's a lot of water, but like that makes the places that you can go that much more vital and like full. Right. And I want to say full of life, but that's kind of not true. But it does like it puts interesting bounds around like where you can go. And Annie Austin has a couple of really good videos about Wind Waker, about where do they get their clean water. Surprise ending to that video.
Cool conclusion.
Yeah.
Great conclusion to that video.
Yeah. But yeah, man, Wind Waker's really good. I agree with you.
Yes.
Definitely in my
fun
top
dungeons.
50 for sure.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, great enemy design. Like, I loved also being able to pick up like enemies dropped weapons and use them against them.
Mhm.
That was a lot of fun too. That's a fun
Mhm.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wind Waker's real good.
Yeah.
My number 2 is 7 Days to Die, which I'm sure surprises everybody. This is my most played game on Steam, I think.
I was just gonna say, I thought it was your most played game.
Yeah, I've been playing this for 8 years. I think it first came out in 2017, and I've been playing since those early alphas. Boy howdy, is it different. 2.0 came out recently. So I mean, they keep coming up with like new substantial gameplay changes to gameplay systems. It's had a lot of like engine upgrades and graphical overhauls over the years, and like they've got it to a point now where it looks pretty nice and runs like the 2.0 runs really well on a lot of different kinds of systems, which has been an issue with the game for a long time. There's now like feature parity with console versions and crossplays on the horizon, so there's exciting possibilities there. Another game that's very much about freedom. Like every time I play, I'm making a base, like a new kind of base, whether it's in a different structure or like fully constructed whole cloth, like a new idea that I have. Every horde base that I make has something different about it that I'm like trying to test and like will this work? And there's a lot of rewarding things that come out of that process for me that I enjoy quite a bit. Just like the moment to moment loop is really, really, really good. And there just isn't another game like it that is anywhere close to the bar of quality that 7 Days is. And part of it's because it's been in development for so long. That's kind of unfair, but it's the best one on the market. So
It's the closest thing to that. I've always heard you aspire for a game that's truly, I can go into any building, loot what I need to, all while it's sort of the like I Am Legend of video games, of just like being one of the only living people in a post-apocalyptic zombie riddled world, being able to go anywhere, inside anywhere, loot what I need to. You've always sort of aspired for that kind of game, and I feel like this is sort of the closest thing to that vision.
Yes, very much so. Yep.
All right. Are we ready for our number 1 games?
I
would also say, like, I know for me it is, and for Kyle it is. Cody, is this also your favorite game ever made?
Yes.
So I think that's an interesting thing to call out, is all 3 of our favorite game of all time.
If you extended
this,
if you extended this to every game, this would still be my number 1.
Still be in locked in number 1.
Let's do it. What do we got?
All right. I think for this one, let's do one by one.
One at a
We'll
time?
do one by one for this one.
Okay. I think that's a good plan.
All right.
My number 1 game of the last 25 years and also of all time, Bioshock. This is, I talk about Skyrim. Like, if I sit and think about it, my brain would say Skyrim is my favorite, but my gut says that it's Bioshock. If you ask me, that's the game I go to. It's so much more special, I think, than Skyrim is. The sense of place and the story and the creepiness. I'm not a horror game person. I don't like being scared. And yet, my favorite game of all time is a game that creeps you the fuck out and has plenty of jump scares, plenty of horror. The fucking Sander Cohen shit is beyond terrifying. The section, so many things. Like, I could just go step by step of all the like scary things. But I think the one that jumps out to me the most is when you're in his like mannequin area and there's a big room where there's a it's not a plasmid, it's one of the like upgrade things. I don't remember what they call them.
Yeah.
But it's like there's water everywhere
Tonics
on the
or whatever.
ground. Tonics, yes. And there's a bunch of mannequins and you go and you pick it up and you turn around and they've moved. And then you're walking around and then all of a sudden they come to life. And not all of them, but they're attacking you, and it's insane.
Well, and towards the beginning in like the dentist office, when you pick up that
like
tonic
That's
then,
the
and then,
obvious
like,
one. You turn around and he's just like
he's right fucking there,
right in front of you. Thankfully, I had my I had my shotgun equipped. Thank God. Just like reaction, like oh fuck. Button press,
and when you
face.
get in that same like area, when you get the shotgun, all the lights go out except for like the spotlight on you, and they're coming from the darkness,
and they're just coming,
and you're just blasting them with the shotgun. Fuck.
Yeah. And like the first fight against a Big Daddy is so intimidating. You're so underpowered at that time. You have like your revolver and machine gun and like one plasmid. And then in the late game, it's fun fighting Big Daddies because it's all the strategy. How can I set up an environment to take this guy down? Let me put some proximity mines on a canister of gasoline, and then I'll use telekinesis to throw it, explode the mines, and fucking one shot a Big Daddy. Like that feels so powerful to set that kind of thing up. The only criticism that I would levy against Bioshock is its over reliance of audio diaries for its storytelling. But even that doesn't bother me at all, because a lot of the game is spent in the minutia of looking around every single area, you know, checking every drawer for more materials. And so you need, it's like the soundtrack to your exploration, but instead of music, it's story and it's plot and it's, you know, character development and it's history and lore. And I think it's such a cool approach to storytelling in a game. I see how someone would say it's levy a criticism against it for that, but to me, that's part of what made it feel immersive.
Yeah, well, it was still early on. Like, this was before a lot of games were doing that, and so it didn't feel... I don't think it felt...
It wasn't ubiquitous at this point, for sure. But it's also, like, so much better than the walk and talk shit and, like, a Gears of War, or, like, Horizon had a ton of audio diaries, but they're all in a single spot. So you pick it up and then you got to stand there as it plays and listen to it. Part of what it made it cool in Bioshock is you're finding them in the nooks and crannies and you're listening to them as you continue to explore. You're not forced to sit and listen.
And just the environmental storytelling around those things and how they provide additional context to the places in which they are in or they reference is really cool as well. Like they lead you, they help facilitate further exploration because they're leading you to new things a lot of the time, or recontextualizing your environment and like pointing you at secrets and stuff. Whether it's like sound effects in the background, you'll be like, oh, it sounds like a door was opening, so I wonder if there's like a hidden door around here somewhere. Like there's a lot of that stuff sprinkled throughout. So it's very smart the way they do it. Yeah.
The hacking mini game gets tedious because you do it a ton, but it is fun. I like doing it. And I think the combat is better in Bioshock 2. Being able to dual wield gun and plasmid is better.
Yeah.
But that's because you're playing as a Big Daddy. The sort of vulnerability you have as just some random schmuck having to switch back and forth and manage that strategy, I think, is like to the benefit of Bioshock.
And then all of when you get the Big Daddy suit in the first game.
Yeah, for that one level. Yeah, that feels really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the passion I get when I start talking about it is different than for any other game, and that's why it's my number one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was my number 16. Maybe that's too low.
Loser.
It's also
Loser
too late.
Mentality.
All right. My number one, maybe not surprising given how I talked about the sequel, is the first Last of Us game. Like I mentioned with the sequel, the Last of Us is very important to me. As Kyle also mentioned during the sequel, we got the collection here. One of the coolest piece of physical game media I own. It's really nice. Fucking cool.
The discs. Did you like open up the steelbook and look at the discs? It just says part 1 and just says part 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's little touches.
It is such a nice package. That first game, I genuinely think that first game was the first time I had the strongest emotions from playing a video game. I really don't know that I had cried before playing a video game before I played The Last of Us.
It has you cry in the first half hour. I cried again today when I started The Last of Us 1 today.
It's and you know what happens, and it's still it still gets you there. The performances are unreal. How good they are.
What they've done to update it, like since its release and stuff, like going back and playing the first one now, like it definitely it still looks like a dated game, but like the coat of paint, like they redid a lot of the animations and the cutscenes. They were able to do higher fidelity because they still had the original mocap stuff, but they were able to like insert additional frames of animation and remake the lighting and adjust some of the textures and character models to be like map them better to the mocap actors so that it like looks a little bit better, a little more realistic. But there's a lot of work that went into remastering part 1. And it shows, man. That is a fun, affecting, incredible.
The end of every season, it just hits like a truck.
Yeah.
I mean, there's usually some emotional, big, impacting story beat that just
Cut
destroys you. Yeah.
Well, and just, I mean, the end of the game. It's
man.
It's
I swear.
It's a weird comparison to make, but it feels Hitchcockian to me in that Alfred Hitchcock did things with his storytelling that no other director dared to do until he did that. And the end of The Last of Us felt like that in a video game. Like, video games did not take stories seriously in this type of way, this specific type of way, to challenge their audience and make them think and make them sit in being uncomfortable with the ramifications of the actions that their character took. And the boldness of that ending will always stay with me. And I was so bummed when they announced part 2 because I didn't want to know more. And then I was like all in once they started advertising it because I'm a total mark. And putting aside how I felt about the second game, like I at least, because I went back and played this just last year, going back, it still can totally stand on its own to me, regardless of knowing what comes after. It can, it's frozen in time. The feeling I had when you're looking into Ellie's eyes and it just cuts to black and the banjo's playing. And I was dumbfounded at the audacity of ending a video game like that.
Right.
A movie, fine. A television show, fine. Like, that shit happens. But I'd never seen it before in a video game. And it's so fucking impressive to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in a lot of ways, I really feel like that first Last of Us influenced how Sony published games after that.
No doubt.
I mean,
Yeah.
Like,
the bar was significantly raised.
Totally.
And it's like rising tide lift all boats, right? Like, that was the thing every other studio was now chasing.
Yeah.
Like, without The Last of Us, you don't get Spider-Man the way you get Spider-Man.
Yeah, or God of War.
Or God of War. Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
and like, not to take credit away from those teams and their hard work and stuff, but it's like,
totally,
holy shit.
Yeah. Like, you see what's possible, and this is now the expectation. Like, everybody, you guys can do this, and they have. Like, I'm a huge story person. Like, that's the thing. Like, look at my list. I love things that make me feel. When you Cyberpunk, Spiritfarers, God of Wars, like these games where I really, really care about the story. It's not a competition. The Last of Us is the best story in any video game I've ever played. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's number 8 on my list because I think a lot of the gameplay sucks. And the repetition of the puzzle solving and stuff is like boring. But that only can drop it to number 8 on my list because it's that fucking good otherwise.
Yeah. Okay.
Kyle?
My number 1 video game, again, surprise to everyone, is Resident Evil 4, the original. The 2004 video game. 2004? Right? Yeah, 2004, right?
That sounds right. No, this was like 2022, 2023?
2005, that's it. Don't fucking start with me, bro. It's time for me to play it again. It's time for me to play Resident Evil 4 again. I gotta play Last of Us 1 and 2 first, but then it's time for me to play Resident Evil 4. It's been over a year, so it's been too long. Every fight is a chess match. It is move and counter move. And the things that I marvel at with films like John Wick, action films like John Wick, where it's like she's stringing together this insane series of moves. It also reminds me of those moments in the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies where he, like, in a split second, he plans out all the combat moves that he's about to enact, and then he does them super fast. That's what I feel like playing Resident Evil 4. I get into a combat scenario, and I go, all right, I'm going to do this, and then I'm gonna open my attaché case, I'm going to switch to the shotgun, I'm going to super quickly blast the dude back. I know there's a guy to my right, so I'm going to get back into the attaché case, switch to my Red 9 pistol, because he's at medium range. I'm going to quickly pivot over there, I'm going to shoot him in the leg to make him stagger, and by the time that's happened, there's going to be another guy coming in. I'm going to do this over to him. And then, like, if one of their heads pops and there's a spider thing that pops out, I'm going to throw a flash grenade because I've been saving this flash grenade for just this situation. And then it's like, all right, now go. And it's like, boom, switch weapon, boom, boom.
It's like John
headshot.
Wick.
Yeah, it's like, that's the way it makes me feel. Because everything is predictable. Everything has a predictable reaction if you're able to execute on your idea. And that's why I say move, counter move, is because everything is predictable. You're going to shoot an enemy here, he's going to react. It's going to react in the same way every time, with very slight opportunities for variance and stuff. Like if you shoot a head off, sometimes a parasite will pop out. It's like there are contingencies that you have to plan into that stuff. But like that sense of planning to execution, that satisfaction, has never been greater for me than in Resident Evil 4. Yeah. And I also I love the story. I love how ridiculous it gets and that it doesn't take itself very seriously. It's super campy and dumb.
It finds a good balance of it, though. Like there's an earnestness. We talk a lot about that with, at Death Stranding 2. Like there has to be an earnestness to the goofiness, otherwise it's kind of cringy.
Right.
And I think it absolutely strikes the right balance with that. The characters are taking it very seriously.
Yes. Yep.
And that's where, like, the remake doesn't get that mix at all. It's very self-serious. Like, very little levity. And, like, no campiness. Which is probably right for today. For a video game that's coming out now. But it's not what I want.
Right.
So, luckily, I still have this version.
Original.
That's right.
On a bunch of different consoles.
I have every physical release.
And the chainsaw
North American. Every North American release.
That's a top 25. So let's count them down for like the audio listeners real quick, just from 25 to 1. I will start. Starting at 25, Gone Home, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Borderlands 2, Fallout 4, the original Star Wars Battlefront, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, 2018's God of War, Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, whatever you want, Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, Ratchet and Clank Future, A Crack in Time, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Spiritfarer, God of War Ragnarok, Cyberpunk 2077, Ghost of Tsushima, Journey, Portal 2, The Last of Us, Mass Effect 2, Super Mario Galaxy, Final Fantasy X, Kingdom Hearts, Minecraft, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, and number 1, Bioshock.
Starting in my 25, I got Death Stranding 2, Portal 2, Halo 3, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Dark Souls, World of Warcraft, Guitar Hero 2, Minecraft, Mass Effect 2, Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal, Super Mario Odyssey, Pikmin 4, God of War Ragnarok, Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, Return of the Obra Dinn, Astro Bot, Clair Obscure's Expedition 33, Death Stranding, Marvel's Spider-Man, Baldur's Gate 3, 2018's God of War, The Last of Us Part 2, Kingdom Hearts, The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, and The Last of Us.
And my list starting at 25 is Freelancer, Half-Life 2, Resident Evil 5, Katamari Damacy, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, Dark Souls, Metro 2033, Fallout New Vegas, Halo 2, Bioshock, Mass Effect 3, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, Xenosaga Episode 1, The Last of Us Part 2, Guitar Hero 2, Animal Crossing, Dead Space, Metal Gear Solid 4, Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, The Last of Us, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy X, Minecraft, 7 Days to Die, and my number one with a bullet, Resident Evil 4.
Hell yeah. I think, get into Cody's data analysis here in just a sec, but
Right.
I think to encapsulate sort of what we've talked through and looking at our three different lists, I find it very interesting and very cool, the disparity that we have, the uniqueness that we have across the board, but also games that we share in different ways. Like Cody and I both have Spider-Man and God of War. Kyle and I both have Final Fantasy X, Bioshock. The two of you guys both have, Guitar Hero 2, The Last of Us Part 2. So that we share games with each other that the third person doesn't have. But also, there are 3 games that all 3 of us have, which I think are very interesting. Because if you were to tell someone, like if we were going to make a list of our collective top 25 games, these 3 games would probably be the top 3 games across the board. And they are so different from each other. That being Minecraft, which is on all 3 of our lists. The Last of Us Part 1, which is on all 3 of our lists and in all of our top 10s.
Yeah.
And Kingdom Hearts, which is in all of our top 5s. Those are 3 very different video games.
Yes.
But all 3 of us unanimously love all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, it highlights, one, just how fucking cool video games are. That these 3 different experiences, all 3 of us can love in a lot of ways for, different reasons we love them. But also what it says about our different tastes too. That in 25 games, you could say it's surprising maybe that the 3 of us who have known each other for such a long time, only 3 games we all 3 love. Like there are plenty of times we example like, oh, I almost put that on my list. I almost did. And only 3 made it on all 3 of our lists, which I think is interesting too. But a fun exercise.
Yeah, out of 25 games, that's surprising.
It is also cool though that like a couple times 2 of us had the same same number.
I think it was
kinda crazy.
just Minecraft. Kyle, you and I had it 3, and then what was it? God of War Ragnarok. Cody and I had it 13. I think those were the only examples where it was shared.
But just like the fact that that can happen at all. Like,
yeah, that is cool.
Like you talk about like, oh, it's only 3 out of 25, but like out of all the video games that released in the past 25 years,
yeah, that's crazy.
We
that's
each
true.
only get to pick 25 of them,
and we still picked 3.
Yeah, 3 of them we all had the same, and 2 numbers, 2 of us shared at the same spot. Like that's
and God of War is fun
crazy.
because we both had Ragnarok at 13, but Cody had God of War higher and I had God of War lower.
Right.
So like we even feel differently about Ragnarok, even though we would rank it the same.
Yeah.
Right.
What a fun time.
Yeah.
What other nerdy shit you got, Cody?
Oh,
Just a couple
stuff
quick
we nerd out
quick
about?
analytics here. The average years of release for these games. Kyle actually has the oldest, with 2007 is his average year of release on his list.
Hell yeah.
Shay is at 2011, and I am at 2014. With my most recent game being in 2025, Kyle's being in 2020, and Shay's being in 2023.
Shay, 2011, your average year, that's Skyrim year, man. So it makes sense.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then looking at the mode, the most often occurrence of a release year, Kyle also had the oldest there. Well, no, sorry, excuse me. Kyle's most was 2003 with 4 releases in 2003, including Ruby Sapphire, Xenosaga Episode 1, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, and Freelancer.
It's feast.
Shades actually has 3 years tied for his most often, and that is 2001 with Final Fantasy X, Super Smash Bros. Melee, and Pokemon Crystal. 2009 with Minecraft, Ratchet and Clank Future, Crack in Time. Minecraft, you can really go either way because, who knows when he really started that. But
yeah.
And then Uncharted 2. And then lastly, 2020 with Ghost of Tsushima, Cyberpunk 2077, and Spiritfarer.
Yeah, I feel like I have to say that's my favorite year with those 3 games. Like all 3 of them are in my top 15 all-time games.
Sure.
All came out in 2020. That's bonkers.
And then my most often was 2018 with 3 titles being 2018's God of War, Marvel Spider-Man. Crazy that those came out in the same year.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Return of the Obra Dinn. So
Nice.
yeah, those are some little factoids I did based on
That's
our
fun.
lists.
Fun shit, man. Well, we found a way to make a long podcast, unsurprisingly, talking about this. I mean, this is like, I don't know how many games it actually was.
Yeah.
60 some games that we talked about. That's a lot of video games. If there's anything on this list that you listeners, viewers have not played, we recommend it to you, bro. Like, go do it.
Mm-hmm.
We would love to hear your favorites. Leave us a comment on the YouTube video. Drop us an email, partyselectpod@gmail.com. Leave your top 25s. What are the big things we missed on? What would you add? Are there games on here that weren't your favorites? Maybe we convinced you to give them another shot. I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not. I feel like people are super stubborn, including me.
Yeah.
You guys didn't convince me to play some of these games. So I'm not like some of these games that I'm not a fan of. I'm like, yeah, I love that you love it. Good for you. That's gonna do it, I guess. This was super fun. Not just to like actually create the list, but just to talk about it and celebrate it, and not to be corny, but it's very easy to be jaded about the state of video games and the state of everything right now. But some of it's rose-tinted glasses, sure. But some of it's nostalgia, sure. But being able to reminisce about these special games at specific times in our lives and how they made us feel and connected us in a lot of ways is a very special thing. So I think that's one of the things I love most about video games is how they make me feel. It's different than just being passive and watching a movie or TV show or reading a book. Like engaging with the art because you're forced to engage with it is a magical thing.
Yeah.
Video games are all right. And these are 60 some of the best ones ever made. So go play them. But that's it. We love y'all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Kyle and Cody, thanks for joining and chatting for a couple hours about these amazing video games. We will be back with another episode of the podcast talking about other good video games and probably some not so good ones. But let's remember the good ones.
Yeah.
Take care. Have a good one. Peace out.